I have a mobile phone in my Dantian. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 326, Yellow Spring Road. Ignoring Sudong's shock, Feng Lao Rongxi continued to look at the temple where they were. The Void Temple. The Void Temple is all over the void. Anyone who becomes a Void Temple Master can control the Void Temple to travel through the void, explore and venture into the various worlds in the void. You are the Void Temple Master, and even my master was once one of the Void Temple Masters, before he rose to power. The most numerous inheritance in the void. It's not just a casual remark. These words made Sudong raise his eyebrows. Feng Lao Rongxi's master was also a Void Temple Master when he was young. Feng Lao's master was the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor, a truly immortal and great existence in the void. Such an existence was once a Void Temple Master in the Void Temple. It is conceivable that the number of network powerhouses in the Void Temple is so large that no country can compare to it. The strong men under the command of the Void God Court are all over the void, but the Eternal Buddha realm is spreading faith. Their believers are all over the void. Almost every world has the Taoist tradition of the Eternal Buddha realm. Faith is the most terrifying. The Eternal Buddha realm is said to have no territorial boundaries, but there are many countries in the void that believe in the Eternal Buddha realm, and their territories are also everywhere. In the long years in the void, I don't know how many countries want to shake the status of the Eternal Buddha realm, but in the end they all failed. How strong is this Eternal Buddha realm? But they are slightly weaker than the Yellow Springs Dao Mansion, because the Yellow Springs Dao Mansion is the source of all death, destruction, and birth. It can be called the underworld of the six paths of life, controlling the entire underworld, and even creating perverted Dao talismans such as the Void Reincarnation Talisman, to change the fate of life. Feng Lao Rongxi sighed. Sudong also understood. Among the three top forces in the void, the Yellow Springs Dao Mansion is the most powerful. Although many powerful super empires in the void are also very powerful, it is obvious that they are ants in front of the Yellow Springs Dao Mansion. The Yellow Springs Dao Palace is the absolute overlord of the void, and it is also the oldest and largest holy place for cultivation. It is said that, as long as you enter the Yellow Springs Dao Palace, it is easy to become a Holy Spirit Void Ancestor. But you can only enter the Yellow Springs Dao Palace with the Yellow Springs Order. The most basic condition for obtaining the Yellow Springs Order is that you must be a fairy level master of the 9th level of power, or have the top bloodline of the God King. This is just the foundation. There are also many life and death battles and life and death gates on the Yellow Springs Road. Feng Lao Rongxi explained, and seeing Sudong somewhat surprised eyes, he said, don't doubt it. Once you step into the Yellow Springs Road, it is a life and death battle. The life of a genius may be valued by the 9 realms ancient country, many small countries and other forces, but in the eyes of the top powerful forces like the Yellow Springs Dao Palace, it is nothing at all. It is held once every 6,000 years, with 100,000 top geniuses, but in the end only 100 people can enter the Yellow Springs Dao Palace. What a concept. 99,900 people are going to die. So many geniuses died just by the selection. Huangquan Dao Fu cares about geniuses, so it was rumored that Huangquan order was issued to select disciples, but it is extremely harsh and terrible. Life is born every second in the void, and geniuses emerge among these lives. There is no shortage of gifted strongmen. Stepping into Huangquan order is a life and death battle. Either live and become a king of Huangquan Dao Fu. From then on, you will be cultivated and trained by the top forces in the void, or die and everything will be in vain. It has been more than 5,000 years since the last time Huangquan Road was opened. It will be 6,000 years soon, and these Huangquan orders have appeared again. Sudong, do you want to try this Huangquan Road? Feng Lao Rongxi said with a smile. Once the Huangquan order is activated, and a quota is set, then before the Huangquan Road begins, the owner of this quota will be absolutely protected by Huangquan Dao Fu, and no force dares to attack you. Until the Huangquan Road begins. Huangquan Road, life and death battle? Sudong narrowed his eyes slightly. He prefers to be safe. This kind of desperate gamble is not suitable for him. I have the core data, and I have a body made of 5 colored stone. My strength is not constrained by the breakthrough of the world god level. This Huangquan Daofu is not very attractive to me. The only thing I'm interested in is the life and death battle. The life and death battle can best stimulate potential and bring about breakthroughs. He also yearns to fight with many geniuses in the void, but reason told him not to take risks. I'm not interested for now, so put it away first. Sudong shook his head and put away the Huangquan order. Today, knowing the 3 top forces in the void has further aroused Sudong's strong desire. The void is vast and magnificent. He wants to stand higher and see farther. Sudong, your choice is right. Although the Huangquan Daofu is tempting, most geniuses will not take this Huangquan road unless they have no choice. Of course, the void is vast and there are many crazy geniuses. If you don't use this Huangquan order, it will leave on its own in the last 100 years to find a master who needs it. Feng Lao Rongzi also nodded. She felt that Sudong didn't need to take risks. Why take risks when you can be strong steadily? Sudong nodded slightly. Thinking of Zhen Muheng getting the Huangquan order, he could only hide it and couldn't use it at all. It's not that he didn't have the courage, but he didn't even have the basic conditions to activate the token. The token will eventually appear in the hands of those who need it, which shows the strength of Huangquan Daofu. Come and tell me what happened in the past 6 years. Where did you get this Huangquan order? Feng Lao Rongzi was very curious. Sudong smiled. He began to explain from the beginning. Just as Sudong was driving the Void Temple back to Xiangquan City, in the clan Hao family, the third son of the Yu family, Yao Yu, sat behind the table, holding a bronze enamel head wine glass and drinking fine wine. I can't use a Huangquan Daofu order, but that madman can use it. I wanted to make a good relationship, but Zhen Muheng offended Sudong. If I take action, it won't be difficult to defeat Xiangquan Sudong. Yao Yu was extremely confident. He also had the qualifications to be confident. But since Xiangquan Sudong has the magic palace, it seems that he should be able to travel through the void. It's easy to defeat him. He hides in the palace and escapes to the void. I can't do anything. That's it. I can't save Zhen Muheng. I don't count on this Huangquan order. Yao Yu knew that he couldn't save Zhen Muheng, so he pretended to be angry and tortured Zhen Muheng so as not to lose face. Outsiders only thought that he was angry, not afraid of Sudong. This book was recently updated in #at. Update. Xiangquan Sudong should have been absorbed by the Nine Realms Palace. Let me check first to see if this Xiangquan Sudong is a disciple of the Nine Realms Palace. If so, he would naturally make friends with him in the future. If not, that would be another attitude. Yao Yu immediately sent a message. He didn't have the authority to inquire about the disciples of the Nine Realms Palace, but he still had connections. In Xiangquan City, Xiangquan Zicheng, Tongjiang, and Xiangang, 3 great ancestors of the heavenly rank, and their subordinates Xiangquan Zhaoxiao, Xiangquan Bishan, and even Xiangquan Liang who came out of retreat and gathered together. They all had shock and joy on their faces. Everyone's eyes were shining. Did I hear it right? Xiangquan Bishan spoke. His voice was uncontrollably high. Sudong alone suppressed the Zenmu clan. He has heavenly rank strength? Yes. You heard it right. The gifts from Yaowei City were delivered to our door. If it weren't for the absolute overwhelming strength, how could Zenmu Sheng, who is so arrogant, please our Xiangquan clan like this? Haha, it seems that our Xiangquan clan is really going to rise. Wait for Sudong to come back now. I still can't believe it. The immortal level is suppressing the heavenly rank. This kind of record, I have only heard of it in legends. Xiangquan Zicheng exclaimed. I can't think of anything else. The strength improvement should not be that great. Could it be that Sudong's swordsmanship has improved further and reached the legendary level? The swordsmanship has reached the power level, which is extraordinary. Legendary level, that is to challenge across levels, to create legends. Xiangquan Zicheng was right. Swordsmanship is a way to use power, but mountain impact method is also a way to use power. Sudong's strength improvement depends entirely on mountain impact method. The second update will be sent later. The chapter name is wrong and cannot be modified. Please forgive me. Happy National Day, and happy 70th birthday of the motherland. Chapter 327 Responsibility. In the Void Temple, Sudong told Feng Lao Rongzi about the 6 years after the Void reincarnation. When he learned that Sudong's strength had improved, Feng Lao Rongzi was a little surprised. In 6 years, he has grown all the way to now, and he can kill even the god-level strongman with ease. You said that your strength has skyrocketed, mainly because you learned that strange power application method? To be so strong, that innate creature is at least a god king. Feng Lao Rongzi was very sure. Innate creatures are strong and weak. With such a strong talent, it is impossible for him to be an ordinary innate creature. It is too difficult for innate creatures to transform and break through the limit, and the peak is also a shackle. With such a strong talent, it can only be an innate creature with the top bloodline of the God King. A God King level innate creature is actually hiding in the Xiang family underground palace? Sudong couldn't believe it. The Xiang family underground palace is probably not a treasure land for such a being. There are countless worlds in the void, and there are even more powerful people lurking in the vast world. If you are not careful, you may die. Besides, where those powerful people want to go is entirely up to their will. Feng Lao Rongzi shook his head and sighed. The most dangerous thing in the void is often not the void, but the secret places and worlds in the void. Some strange worlds are not dared to be trespassed by even the top strong people. The longer they live, the more careful they are, for fear of encountering stronger people lurking in the world. Of course, it is precisely because of being cautious that they can survive longer and become stronger. Sudong nodded silently. He thought to himself that the mountain impact method is so terrible. How powerful will it be when such an existence uses it? The God King level strongman, even the 9 realms ancient country has to pay great attention to it. This is his innate secret method. My 5-colored stone body has not yet awakened the talent. He thought in his heart that talent is extremely important for an innate creature. A heaven-defying talent can even increase strength 100-fold. It's like the innate power of the innate creatures in the Xiang clan's underground palace. Sudong was so powerful, just by glimpsing some of their fur, it can be seen how terrible their talents are. I have to awaken my innate secret method soon. Night fell, and Xiangquan city was shrouded in a hazy moonlight. A palace fell outside the city, and Sudong walked out of it. The palace behind him disappeared in an instant, turning into a stream of light, and becoming a strange metal ring on his finger. Sudong walked into the city. His maids were already waiting at the city gate, and there were many immortal level soldiers like Xiangquan B and Xiangquan Jiu. Even Xiangquan Zicheng and others took the initiative to fly to the city gate to greet him. The entire Xiangquan clan was excited. How old is Sudong now? Even if he is an innate creature born extraordinary, Sudong is too young. He is so powerful now. How powerful will he be in the future? For hundreds of years, the Zenmu clan has always been superior to our Xiangquan clan. From today on, it is our Xiangquan clan that has been superior to them. The Xiangquan clan strong men were all happy and excited. With the tacit approval of the 9 realms ancient country, the fights between the clans of the 9 realms great heaven and earth were extremely fierce. It was impossible to live in peace. The weak would eventually be devoured and assimilated, and only the strong could survive. Amidst the noise, Sudong accompanied Xiangquan Zicheng and 3 other Xian level ancestors and many strong men to the Xiangquan hall. The dinner had already been set up in the hall. Everyone took their seats. Sudong sat at the top, next to Xiangquan Zicheng. After all, according to the strength, the real strongest man of the Xiangquan clan today is Sudong. Sudong, this small clan completely treats you as a super genius. Feng Lao Rongzi telepathically transmitted the message. There was a table in front of Sudong, on which bronze utensils were placed, and the utensils contained delicious fruit wine, as well as a copper tripod the size of a pot. The copper tripod was filled with delicious meat and spiritual objects. A maid was waiting beside them to take out the food from the tripod and put it in the bowl in front of them. This banquet was the most high-end banquet in the Xiangquan clan. I can't help them thinking that. Sudong sent a telepathic message and took the big bowl handed by the maid. The bowl contained extremely delicious meat. The 9 realms were full of spiritual energy, and these meats were even more delicious. TSK, you are so immodest. Feng Lao Rongzi joked. It smells so good. Sudang took a bite and felt the delicious meat overflowing in his mouth. He never got tired of eating it. It was extremely delicious. Everyone was eating, but the attention of everyone in the hall, especially the maids, was focused on Sudang at the top. Sudang, Xiangqun Zichang said with a smile, we were worried about you for 3 years when you were away, but we didn't expect that you would be stronger than me when you came back. In the past, Xiangqun Zichang still regarded Sudang as a potential junior, but now the latter has grown up and become the top pillar of the Xiangqun clan. Of course, his status also changed, but he accepted it with pleasure. Elder, I also had some experiences in the demon city. Sudang swallowed the meat in his mouth. In front of these elders, no matter how strong he was, he dared not be arrogant. Oh, experience in the demon city. Is that a legacy of the Xiang family? Xiangqun Zichang suddenly realized, and many strong men nodded. Xiangqun Liang, whose eyes flashed with worry, but more of it was joy. Tell me, what is the experience? You are still a fairy level. Did you awaken your talent, or create a more powerful swordsmanship? He asked with a smile. I haven't awakened my talent yet. Sudang shook his head. He didn't deny the swordsmanship. After all, the mountain impact method was learned by him from peeping at the origin of the innate creatures, and he didn't plan to publicize it. No awakened talent? Xiangqun Zichang's eyes lit up. The others also smiled. Talent is a sign of innate creatures. If Sudang is so strong relying on talent, that's of course good, but it also means that Sudang's potential is no longer a variable. And if he is so strong without awakening his talent, what about after awakening? Naturally stronger. But, very good. Xiangqun Zichang smiled. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand, and a silver white token appeared in his palm. The token flew to the table in front of Sudang. Sudang, from today on, you are the strongest of our Xiangqun clan, and the candidate for the next ancestor of the Xiangqun clan. You accept this Xiangqun order. This book has been updated recently in #@. Update. The Xiangqun order can be used to send messages and command all the people of the Xiangqun clan. With supreme power, there is of course responsibility. Sudang took a look and put it away without saying anything. Watching him put it away, everyone in the hall smiled, and Xiangqun Liang, who smiled the most. This is to use power to restrain you. Feng Luring sent a telepathic message. It's not about restraint or not, it's a responsibility, and I'm happy to bear this responsibility. Sudang sighed secretly. The strength of the clan is a shelter for the weak, but it is a responsibility for the strong. Everyone wants shelter, but not everyone can bear the responsibility. Sudang was not afraid to take on this responsibility. My strength will become stronger and stronger. I can still protect the Xiangqun clan. Sudang was full of confidence in himself. A cheerful dinner ended late at night. Before dawn, in the clan martyrs cemetery in Xiangqun city, the air was a little cold. Sudang and Xiangqun Liang, who stood in front of Xiangqun King's grave. Originally, this was just a cenotaph, and Sudang had just put Xiangqun King's broken body in the tomb. Xiangqun Liang, who was silent. His son died, and of course he was the most sad, but he was used to suppressing his emotions, and no one could see it. This is the strong man in the clan. There are too many young people who died for the clan in the cemetery, and Xiangqun King is just one of them. Sudang silently looked at Xiangqun King's name on the tombstone. King, I have avenged you. In the demon refining lake 90,000 miles outside the Xiangqun clan, terrifying monsters gathered here one after another. Kill another tribe of humans and sacrifice their blood to open the last 9 gates. After 1,000 years of hard work, it's right in front of us. The legendary temple. The monsters were eager and looking forward to it. Last time, we slaughtered the Zenmu clan. This time, we should slaughter the Xiangqun clan. There are only 3 heavenly immortals in the Xiangqun clan, so we can only endure it. Let's choose the Xiangqun clan. The monsters were crawling in the swamp. In the sky, there was a woman in red standing on a white bone sword. She looked down coldly, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth, revealing her fine and dense sharp teeth and fangs. Chapter 328, Innate Blood Pool. There is a huge fiery red gourd below, and the gourd mouth of the gourd is spewing blood red flames towards a deep cave deep in the ground. The flames cover the bottom, and the entire underground cave is burned everywhere. At the bottom, there is a strange and weird bronze giant door. The blood flames burn on the giant door, burning the bronze giant doors one by one. Countless monsters crawled in the demon refining lake, waiting for all the bronze giant doors to open. The Nine Realms is an extremely ancient world. It is said that there were countless cultivation schools in this world. Before the rise of the Nine Realms ancient country, there were gods and demons everywhere, and there were hundreds of schools of thought. There were also countless inheritances left. Obviously, the temple in front of us is one of them. In the void, what is the most precious is not the treasures of heaven and earth and various magic weapons, but the secrets and methods. The method is the most precious. The red-clothed female demon in the sky had a cold face, but her eyes were full of expectation. They were determined to get the demon refining lake in this temple, and no one could stop them. In Xiangquan City, deep in a bright underground cave. This cave is about 100 feet underground. The closer you get to the cave, the stricter the security. This inconspicuous cave is a different world. So beautiful. Sudan walked into the underground cave. The cave was extremely wide. There were colorful crystals inlaid on the stone walls in the distance. There were blood-colored river lights flowing slowly on all sides and converging to the center. In the center was a blood-colored pond. The blood color was rich, as if it was formed by the confluence of blood and water, but there was no blood in it, but a faint fragrance. The fragrance lingered, and the blood pool also faintly emitted a hazy blood-colored light spot, beating with a moving brilliance. I feel that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth here is richer than anywhere else I have been, and purer than the spiritual energy of Xiang's underground palace. Xiang's underground palace. That is because there are too many heaven level immortal level creatures who have been killed, and there are too many dead days, and the blood and spirits gather, and do not disperse to form a special scene. But here is pure spiritual energy of heaven and earth, but this spiritual energy of heaven and earth has a layer of peculiar properties compared to the ordinary spiritual energy of the outside world. Sudan couldn't help but take a deep breath. There was a spiritual light in the blood pool. This was a blood pool formed naturally by heaven and earth, and the spiritual energy gathered into a river. What's so surprising? The spiritual energy of the great heaven and earth is rich, and the rules of heaven are perfect. It can give birth to innate creatures, let alone a blood pool. Feng Lao Rongzi smiled and said, this small clan doesn't even know how to maximize the use of this blood pool. Obviously, they concealed it from the Nine Realms ancient country after they discovered it. TSK, it's a waste. How to maximize the use of this innate blood pool? Sudan asked. He exchanged his merits for the use of the innate blood pool. At this moment, he was the only one in this underground cave. The biggest function of this innate blood pool is to cultivate innate creatures that have not yet been born. They put the treasures that lay the foundation for innate creatures here. What a waste. The Nine Realms ancient country has countless innate creatures, but how many innate creatures does the Xiangquan clan have? In history, there are less than 10 in total. Sudan shook his head. As for notifying the Nine Realms ancient country, he was afraid that they would be forcibly taken away by the Nine Realms ancient country immediately. It would be a waste to simply use it to cultivate innate creatures. There is a stone platform in the center of the blood pool. Sudan landed on the stone platform and felt the rich spiritual energy of the blood pool below. It seemed that all the cells in his body became active. Sudan couldn't help but sigh. The bodies of innate creatures are too favored by heaven and earth. It is much easier for them to practice than ordinary people when they are born, especially before the shackles of the peak of blood. It is too easy for innate creatures to practice. Without treasures, they can improve their strength by eating and drinking. With treasures, the time can be greatly shortened. According to the records in my inherited memory, as long as I absorb enough treasures of heaven and earth, I can awaken the secret method of innateness. I have absorbed quite a few treasures of heaven and earth in the past. Sudan believed that even the innate creatures of the clan Marquis might not have absorbed more treasures of heaven and earth than him. According to the inference, he should also awaken his innateness. Only by awakening his innateness can he be considered a truly complete innate creature. The secret method of innateness is the most important method for an innate creature, just like the terrible innate creature in the Xiang family's underground palace. Just one move of the mountain impact method is enough to cross the entire Nine Realms and the void. One trick, eat all the sky. The secret method of innateness is too important for innate creatures. I have been polishing and cultivating this colorful stone body in the past 6 years. I think my foundation is already very solid. Even if it is not as good as the means of cultivating innate creatures in the ancient country of the 9 realms, it is not worse than that of ordinary clan Marcoses. Cultivating an innate creature is a matter of money and treasures. Sudang himself was reincarnated from the void. His own realm was very high in the past, and his soul was also extremely strong. Therefore, he could practice very quickly. But at this level, his advantage of reincarnation in the void was almost used up. Naturally, he had to hurry up to awaken his innate secret method to make himself stronger. There were crystals on the edge of the stone platform in a range of about 10 feet. Some of these crystals were transparent with a golden thread. Some were a wisp of golden airflow. The crystals were embedded in the stone platform and were protected by formations so that they could not be taken away. Sudang looked at these crystals and was a little surprised. Heaven and Earth Golden Crystal? He had read in books that there was a chance that the Heaven and Earth Golden Crystal would appear in the Heaven and Earth crystals that made up the Heaven and Earth. The Heaven and Earth Golden Crystal was very helpful for cultivation and could even improve the perception of life to understand the way of heaven. If the Heaven and Earth Crystal was just the most common currency gem used for cultivation and trading, the Heaven and Earth Golden Crystal was a luxury item. It was not something that ordinary people could afford. Heaven and Earth Golden Crystal, you said a little less, and it will be gone after it is consumed. This book was recently updated in Update. The Xiangquan clan created this kind of environment in order to allow every disciple who enters the innate blood pool to fully improve their strength. In such an environment, even if they don't practice, they can still improve. Sudang sighed. This is the benefit of the clan. Of course, if it is a large sect or a large force, the benefits will be even greater. Let's start. Awaken my innate secret method in one fell swoop. Sudang sat cross-legged on the stone platform, and his body was emitting a hazy 5-colored light. Strands of the innate 5-colored stone essence flew out of Sudang's body and penetrated into the blood pool under the stone platform. The moment it penetrated in, wow, the entire blood pool suddenly boiled, and countless blood-colored spiritual energy condensed into light. With the richness of these blood-colored spiritual energy, it finally turned directly into a blood-colored spiritual energy column, and then the pupa rushed violently into Sudang's body. Waves rose on the surface of the blood pool. Sudang's 5-colored stone body only felt the essence suddenly surge, and then the consciousness roared. Sudang's data core consciousness saw a mysterious and unique divine picture. On the divine picture, there was a dazzling 5-colored divine stone, which emitted endless divine light. This divine picture was more mysterious and complex than any picture Sudang had ever seen. It was vast, heavy, mysterious, and full of power. Sudang's data core seemed to feel that he saw the operation of the heaven and earth in a small world. No, the operation of the earth. The earth is generous and bears all things, carrying countless lives and countless creatures. At this moment, he seemed to have become a part of the earth, and his core data consciousness was only shocked and moved. That was a touch that triggered the soul. This is the true vastness of the origin of the 5-colored stone. Sudang was excited. Chapter 329 Talent Awakening. At this moment, Sudang truly saw the mystery contained in the origin of the 5-colored stone. He saw the Tao carried by the earth. The original power at the origin of the 5-colored stone heart also entered every part of Sudang's body in the opposite direction. The blood was boiling, and every cell in the muscles, tendons, bones and internal organs was cheering. The source of all this was the origin of the 5-colored stone heart that emitted colorful light. The original dazzling 5-colored light began to become more and more restrained at this moment, but in this restraint, countless mysterious runes began to gradually wrap the entire 5-colored stone heart and imprint it. The energy of the surrounding innate blood pool and the golden crystal of heaven and earth was constantly absorbed and entered Sudang's body, promoting the transformation of the 5-colored stone heart. With these energies, he can quickly awaken the innate secret method. Without these energies, Sudang speculated that perhaps he could awaken his talent in a few years. But he couldn't wait for a few years. The strong will always be strong. Only by constantly compressing the growth time can we go further and become stronger in the future. If one step falls, then every step will fall. Suddenly, a vast power suddenly entered Sudong's core data. Innate secret method? Sudong thought, and countless 5-colored mysterious veins immediately extended from the heart of the 5-colored stone. Some were on the surface of the heart, and some were inside the heart. In an instant, with the heart as the center, a strange and mysterious 5-colored rune appeared. The heart was shaking and changing dramatically. Sudong's body also changed dramatically, and his whole body seemed to be petrified and turned into 5-colored stone. Endless and majestic power continued to pour out from the innate blood pool, constantly pouring on Sudong's body, entering the heart, causing the heart to beat violently, and bursting out more divine blood. The blood flowed to all parts of the body, causing Sudong's body to quickly transform from the immortal level to the god level. Although it was not enough to break through the god level, it was also striding in that direction. At the same time, the strange and mysterious rune at the heart also slowly penetrated into Sudong's core data will consciousness. At this moment, Sudong truly awakened and mastered a certain innate secret method. Wow. With the help of the heaven and earth blood pool, Sudong truly awakened in just a few minutes, mastered the innate secret method, and his body also transformed. This transformation process was intense, but it slowed down afterwards, and the rest needed long-term nurturing. Innate secret method, the power of the earth. On the stone platform, Sudong, who had been sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed, opened his eyes. He stretched out his palm and touched his forehead. A mysterious 5-colored rune mark appeared in his forehead. The mark was protruding, looking like a 5-colored diamond crystal. The crystal emitted a hazy 5-colored glow. Sudong's heart moved. Boom. The air in front of him suddenly shook. No wonder it is said that the awakening talent of innate creatures and the unawakened talent are completely two concepts. Awakening is a transformation of innate creatures from the inside out. Sudong said secretly. He felt as if he had mastered a power that he had never mastered before. This power was like one of his hands and one of his feet. It was just like the shadow talent of the demon bloodline. It's just that this 5-colored stone life is much stronger than the former demon bloodline talent. In terms of the degree of mystery, this power is far more mysterious and strange than any power I have ever come into contact with. It can be said that it completely crushes the swordsmanship that I have always been proud of. What is a natural secret method? It is given by heaven and earth. Perfect. It is like the natural secret method of the powerful innate creature in the Xiang family underground palace. Sudong is just borrowing it, borrowing the origin of the former, to simulate some of the mysteries, and the power allows him to have the strength to cross the level, and kill the god level. It can be seen that the level of the natural secret method, according to Sudong's understanding, the perfect level of technique is a natural secret method. The greatest gift of the awakening of the innate creature is a natural secret method. The top forces in the void select geniuses, and also see how much power the sect has mastered. Techniques are very important. My swordsmanship is still at the power level. If the swordsmanship reaches the legendary level, then my strength will be even stronger. The legendary level is almost the same as the power and power that is stimulated by the purple cube now. The two are superimposed, and the power will increase even more. Of course, it is just a fantasy now. It is too difficult to create a swordsmanship at the legendary level. There is nothing to sell in the ancient martial arts secret manual library. However, my 5-colored stone innate body has a good understanding of the Taoism and body refining methods and the inherited memory. But for the swordsmanship, Sudong had a flash of thought in his mind. The 5-colored stone innate body is not as good at understanding the swordsmanship as his human body in the past. It may also be because I didn't spend time studying the swordsmanship. Sudong thought to himself, comforting himself. Sudong, have you awakened your talent? What kind of talent is awakened by the 5-colored stone innate creatures? Feng Lao Rongzi transmitted his mind. The same life may awaken different talents. Sudong awakened his talent, but because it was awakened inside the body, Feng Lao Rongzi didn't notice any strange movements. Yeah. Sudong nodded. I awakened a talent called the power of the earth. Power of the earth? Energy type talent? Not bad. The most popular talent in the void is the spiritual talent, followed by the soul and energy type talents, and the worst is the physical talent. Like you said, the God King level innate creature talent is also an energy type talent. How terrible. Talents, in addition to strength, are also divided into rare and not rare. Like spiritual talents, they are very rare in the void. This book was recently updated in update. Hurry up and show your talent secret method. Feng Lao Rongzi urged. Sudong nodded immediately, and the diamond-shaped crystal stone between his eyebrows moved. He immediately used the talent secret method of the power of the earth. Zizzy. Circles of ripple-shaped 5-color light power passed from Sudong's body to the stone platform, and then spread to the entire blood pool. Gradually, the 5-color light covered the entire cave floor, and the power was radiated. The strange gravity in the entire cave began to increase, and even the stones on the ground were slowly attracted by gravity and embedded in the ground. The river in the innate blood pool was suppressed and sank. The water flow seemed to be stagnant. Gravity? Gravity that has reached the power level. Yes, this innate secret method is also a group secret method. If anyone fights with you in the future, the influence of gravity will be enough to give the other party a headache. Feng Lao Rongzi smiled. In her eyes, it can be said that Sudong's innate secret method is not bad. Of course, it is not too evil. The truly evil innate secret method in the void can easily kill enemies across levels. Sudong's power of the earth is only at the power level. It is still a little far from killing enemies across levels, but it can be regarded as invincible in the same level. Of course, except for some Evildoers. Wait, my power of the earth is itself a kind of energy. As energy, it should be able to pass through the purple cube. Sudong thought, and his mind moved. A ray of 5-color original energy quietly passed through the hole in the center of the purple cube in his body. Pass through and release. Boom. The 5-color ripple energy covering the entire cave floor suddenly turned into a series of heart-pounding waves, and the wave-like energy squeezed the ground one after another. A roar broke out directly. The entire Dantian blood pool cave shook. What's wrong? An earthquake. The tribesmen who were guarding the blood pool outside the cave were surprised. What's wrong? Earthquake? The vibrations transmitted to the ground were much smaller, but all the gods in Xiangquan City who had mastered 2 powers felt it. Everyone sent a message to ask. Xiangquan Zichang and others flew directly to the ground, where the Dantian blood pool was. Their faces were solemn. The source of the earthquake is here. Who is in the Dantian blood pool? Xiangquan Zichang asked. Reporting to the ancestor, it is the leader Sudong. The tribesman said. Xiangquan Zichang and others were immediately surprised. Chapter 330, The Power of the Earth. 108. This is Xiangquan City, and the city is protected by formations. How could it cause such a big shock? Xiangquan Zichang was surprised. Then he said, don't spread the news that Sudong is practicing here. The clan gave birth to a strong man, and the strength of the strong man is the most important secret. Everything about Sudong is a secret. The power of the innate secret method of the earth and the purple cube are combined. Once combined, the power generated suddenly skyrocketed. Within the range, covered by the 5-color light, the power of Sudong's innate earth power skyrocketed by nearly 100 times. Feng Lao Rongzi was directly shocked and said to Sudong in surprise, Sudong, your innate secret power is too strong? How can it be so strong? It stands to reason that the earth power method awakened by Sudong is just a bound field type innate secret method, but how can it be so strong? Even the heavenly level may not be able to withstand this kind of gravity. This is the result of the use of that special method. Sudong explained with a smile. In fact, Sudong was shocked. As he expected, the awakened innate secret method of the earth power can be amplified by the purple cube. This also shows that the purple cube should be able to amplify all energies. As my strength increases, my wind space binding force is becoming less and less, and I just happen to have this earth power field. Sudong smiled, and his mind moved. Suddenly, with Sudong as the center, the 5-color divine power in the huge cave of the blood pool of heaven and earth was surging. Many earth powers rippled in the cave, and instantly formed a semicircular 5-color light shield. The 5-color light shield was completely sealed, reflecting the hazy 5-color light, which was magnificent. But in this 5-color light shield, the gravity is extremely strong. Because after the purple cube amplification, the gravity of the earth power skyrocketed 100 times. After the awakening of the talent, the earth power was tested. After the successful attempt to strengthen the earth power into a shockwave method through the purple cube, Sudang did not rush out, but continued to practice. The innate blood pool is the innate spiritual energy, and it is also the gift of heaven and earth to the innate creatures. It can not only nourish the body of the innate creatures, but also improve the bloodline foundation of the innate creatures. Sudang has only absorbed a little bit now. He awakened his talent, which was completely accumulated. His 5-colored stone body is far from saturated, and the use of the power of the earth is still to be studied. One trick is enough to eat all the world. This secret method of the power of the earth is undoubtedly Sudang's current killer move. How can he not study it thoroughly? This power of the earth is the source power of my 5-colored stone body, containing my life breath. Sudang carefully sensed the power of the earth. The power of the earth is warm and powerful, with a majestic momentum of nurturing life. Although it is the source power of the 5-colored stone, the obscure breath contained in this power of the earth is far more palpitating than the life breath of my 5-colored stone. Sudang said secretly. After a careful sense, the power of the earth contains a variety of strange auras of the law. These auras of the law have a long history. Whether it is the tip of the iceberg or the whole, it is incomparably perfect. That is to say, Sudang's will consciousness is a core data, which can fully analyze the source of the power of the earth. Just like the powerful innate creature who spied on and analyzed the Xiang family underground palace, and with this in-depth research, Sudang gradually discovered that the power of the earth is the embodiment of the energy state of a full 108 kinds of strange methods. The method condenses into energy, and Sudang cannot understand the mystery of this. Only the great existence of heaven and earth that can give birth to life can do it. At the same time, Sudang also found that his original power is almost constant and difficult to increase. If a part is separated, the remaining original power will lack the original power of the separated part of the method, and it will be difficult to recover. The original power is inseparable, but the powerful innate creature in the Xiang family underground palace gave him some of his original mountain power, and Sudang also silently remembered this friendship in his heart. According to the various methods of the power of the earth, Sudang found that the method he arranged with the power of the earth was only an entry level 1, and there was still room for improvement. The power of the earth has 108 methods, which are constantly changing from the simplest to the most advanced. Sudang's core data consciousness was immersed in this research, and he began to study the application of the power of the earth. At the beginning, it was directly used to arrange the domain space, which was simply crude. The deeper he studied, the more Sudang felt that his innate secret method was unfathomable. Sudang spent a long time studying each of the 108 methods. Once he studied, Sudang was completely immersed in it and forgot about time. In a blink of an eye, a month had passed. The time he had exchanged for the innate blood pool with his merits was about to expire. On this day, it was snowing heavily outside Xiangquan City, but the underground innate blood pool cave was still warm like spring, and the innate spiritual energy was lingering. Sudang, who was sitting cross-legged on the stone platform, suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were full of joy. Sudang, are you awake? Feng Lao Rongzi was surprised and telepathically transmitted. Sudang was immersed in this practice, and not only forgot about time, but even her telepathic transmission could not disturb him. But Feng Lao Rongzi did not dare to disturb him. Cultivation requires complete concentration and dedication. If you are distracted and impatient, how can you break through? If you don't break through, you will only be a god in your lifetime. Sudang was all smiles. Look at you, you have gained a lot. Feng Lao Rongzi said with a smile. Yes, I have gained a lot. It turns out that my power of the earth can be used in this way. Sudang smiled. I used to use it as a restraining field. I'm so stupid. This book has been updated recently in .. Update. He smiled and said, Feng Lao, what animals do you like? Animals? Feng Lao Rongzi didn't understand why Sudang suddenly asked her this. He was a little puzzled, but still said, I once raised a blue phoenix. Blue phoenix? Sudang smiled. He had seen a blue phoenix before. Then, He circulated the power of the earth in his body. This time, he simply circulated the power of the earth on his body. Wow. Suddenly, a 5-color light flashed, and Sudang on the stone platform disappeared. In his place, a blue phoenix bird as tall as a person spread its wings, and flew up into the air, flapping its wings and laughing. How is it, Feng Lao? Does my blue phoenix look like a blue phoenix? Feng Lao rungs. He was stunned. She couldn't even feel Sudang's breath. There was a blue phoenix bird in front of her. Changing the appearance is simple, but changing the breath? Wow. Sudang changed back again, with a smile on his face. 108 methods, including 72 earthly evils and 36 heavenly evils. This number just covers the number of heaven and earth. I can change everything in this world, even the breath. Sudang smiled. This is the deepest mystery of his power of the earth. Domain display is just the most superficial use of the power of the earth. Amazing. Innate creatures are blessed by nature. I have heard that there are many tribes with extraordinary talents in the void that can change at will. I didn't expect that you, Sudang, can do it. Feng Lao rungs. He was amazed. Changing appearance is very simple, but the breath cannot be changed. Even the breath can be changed. This is talent. According to legend, those tribes that are good at changing can roam freely in the void and transform into any tribe, any life form, and even monsters can't do anything to them. Some even directly replace the overlord of one side of the world. Of course, this kind of change is not invincible. There are still heaven-defying existences that can see it. It is said that there is a secret pupil technique in the void that can see all changes clearly. But mastering this talent is enough to be a demon. At least this means that Sudang has a very strong trump card. 3 more days passed. Sudang walked out of the Xianshan blood pool cave, and his aura was obviously more vast and restrained. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 331 Su Garden. Thanks to the 3 great people, Slow Light Speed, Zioao Dragon Ball World, and Bird in the North Sea, for their awards. The leader is out. The clan sergeant on the ground couldn't help but smile in admiration when he saw Sudang. Ever since Sudang's 3 swords shocked Yaoi City, defeated Zenmu Zaozu, and captured Zenmu Heng alive, the Xiangquan clan's admiration for Sudang has reached a peak. This is the strongest of their Xiangquan clan. The strength of the strongest of a clan represents a great significance. Just like in the past, the Zenmu clan could bully them, but now the Zenmu clan tolerates them everywhere, and will take the initiative to send generous gifts, to apologize for the slightest friction. They even took the initiative to give up 50,000 miles of territory and married a noble woman in the clan to the Xiangquan clan for marriage. Of course, all this is for better survival. Well, Sudang nodded slightly. I'll report to the ancestor. The sergeant even urged his body to fly away. Being able to stay here, his strength is also extraordinary among the immortals. Sudang walked out of the mansion and onto the street. He saw many clan children passing by. He didn't know most of them, but they were familiar. He didn't know them, but they all knew him. Xiangquan Sudang, a congenital creature, was the strongest of their Xiangquan clan. Even the 3 ancestors were slightly inferior to him. It was just that he was still young and had never been involved in clan management. After all, force and clan management ability are 2 different things. Being young and promising also lacks some sophistication and calmness. Many large clans in history were destroyed by young strongmen. As Sudang walked by, many clan children and merchants saluted, and those foreign practitioners who passed by, and the gods who were also overlords in the small world, also quietly avoided him. With a respected status, they may not have a large number of attendants when they go out. There are many strong people who like to be alone. While walking on the street, Sudang's core data will consciousness spread, and a smile quietly appeared on his face. Unconsciously, my realm has also broken through to the 7th level of the immortal level. The pressure of this great world is really heavy. The way of heaven is perfect, and my will and consciousness cannot be seen at all. Seeing that the second of the 361 star nodes in his core data was about to light up. The second star represents a heaven level. I can still feel the limitations of this world, which is the limitation of my body of the innate creature of the 5-colored stone. Even the innate creature has a limited lifespan. Sudong was silent. His data core is unlimited, but the body he relies on is limited. If you don't reach the level of the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor, you will never be able to live forever in the void. The stronger the strength, the wider the world you see, and the higher the pursuit. In the past, in the small world, countless lives only pursued to become immortals, thinking that they could live forever. It's really a sitting well, and looking at the sky. How can the way of heaven allow life to live forever so easily? Birth, aging, illness and death are the order of heaven. If you want to transcend, you are going against heaven. Any immortal strong man is destined to rise up, to compete for the survival power of countless lives. In this void, which Holy Spirit Void Ancestor has not killed countless people, and fought for countless things. This is the way of heaven. How can you be blessed without fighting or robbing? But this fight is a fight for time, effort, and opportunity. The way of heaven restricts. Even the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor has restrictions. It's just that the level is different. Sudong is still very weak, and can't touch it at all, but it can be imagined that at that level, a random thought may determine the survival of a kingdom of heaven and earth. The God King may die at any time. Feng Luring, such a proud daughter of heaven, is forced to struggle between life and death by the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor. The danger in the void can be seen. Just as Sudong was thinking, a group of ancestors and strong men were rushing over in the distance. The leader was Xiangquan Zichang. Sudong. Xiangquan Zichang looked at Sudong with joy and asked in a voice transmission, "What have you gained after more than a month of retreat?" "I have awakened my talent." Sudong also replied in a voice transmission. "Haha. Good." Xiangquan Zichang laughed out loud. Outsiders only saw that the old ancestors laughed heartily when they saw Sudong. The two old ancestors Tongji and Xianggang understood, and their smiles became even wider. Our Xiangquan clan is really going to produce a top-level strongman. Sudong's bloodline is at the top level. As long as there are no accidents in the middle, it is certain that he will become a world level in the years. The two old ancestors also said, the clan has to fight monsters, and there are top-level innate creatures who die before they grow up in battles again and again. As more and more strong people are born and rise, their human race becomes stronger and stronger. As long as Sudong becomes a world level, then their Xiangquan king will not be far from the clan Marquis. Sudong, come, I will take you to see your palace. Yes, the palace has not been named yet, waiting for you to name it. Everyone said, as the strongest person in the Xiangquan clan, he should naturally have his own palace, which is a symbol of status. Like Xiangquan Zicheng, he has his own Zicheng palace, and the remaining two old ancestors also have their own Xianggang palace and Tongjiang palace. Sudong followed the others to visit the huge palace in the center of the city. He had a portable temple, so he didn't really care about where he lived, but that was the rule of the Xiangquan clan, and it was also the cohesion of the clan. After visiting the palace, Sudong, give your palace a name, or use your real name. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Sudong Palace? They thought it was nothing. Sudong shook his head. It was too ugly. Let's call it Su Garden. Sudong said. There was a Su Garden in his hometown. It was also a commemoration. Su Garden? Okay, let's call it Su Garden. The strong men nodded in response. I think the name Su Garden is good. Feng Laorong's he also communicated with his mind. In the cold winter, snowflakes were fluttering, and the ground was covered with thick snow. To the south of the Xichang tribe south of the Xiangquan city territory was a large plain bordering the Yao Lians. There is a tribe belonging to Xiangquan clan here. The tribe area is surrounded by tall fences. There is a tall house in the area. There are 3 immortals of heaven in the house. They are all patrol soldiers of Xiangquan clan. This is a very large tribe, much larger than Xicheng tribe. The security is even more strict. On this day, a black-robed figure passed by the tribe in the void. This is Zufeng tribe. The black-robed figure looked to the south. After Zufeng tribe, there is a plain of 15,000 miles. The refining demon lake is on the other side of the plain. In the past 2 months, the refining demon lake has repeatedly invaded many tribes of our Cheyenne clan on a large scale, fighting and looting. These monsters rely on the natural danger of the refining demon lake. Our Cheyenne clan dare not retaliate. The black-robed figure shook his head, and a murderous look appeared on his handsome face. This figure is Sudang. Monsters like to kill and eat. Humans are the leader of all spirits. Many monsters rely on eating humans to cultivate. Feng Larangzi transmitted the voice. In the entire void, in countless heavens and earths, monsters are fighting with humans. This is the main theme. The demon tribe also has a strong force, which is why they can fight for so long. When I was in my coming of age ceremony, I was attacked by the demon beasts in the demon refining lake. King also died because of this demon refining lake. There are 12 heaven level demon beasts and 1 world level demon beast in the demon refining lake. The world level demon beast is called Dead Tree, an old tree cultivated into a demon and reached the world level. I will use this demon refining lake to test my swordsmanship. Sudang turned into a stream of light and flew out. He killed towards the demon refining lake. Chapter 332, The 10,000 Bones Demon King. The immortal stationed in the Cheyenne clan of the Zufeng tribe below felt something and walked out of the house to watch. In the sky, Sudang's figure turned into a stream of light and quickly passed through the night sky. His speed was so fast that he left a trace in the night sky, as if a meteor passed through the night sky. Why don't you go down and say hello to the clan members? Feng Larangzi teased, and Sudang shook his head. He had come out without telling Cheyenne Zichen and the others. If they knew that he went into the demon refining lake alone, they would be worried to death. He is too important to the Cheyenne clan now. Seeing Sudang's silence, Feng Larangzi smiled and then transmitted his voice. These monsters are a disaster wherever they are. But with your current strength, except for that world level monster, you don't care about other monsters. She was extremely confident in Sudang. During this period of time, she saw Sudang's progress. Under the nourishment of a large number of heaven and earth gems and treasures, the 5-colored stone body had long been strengthened to a level close to the heaven level, coupled with Sudang's various methods and powers. Even the gods and immortals of the 9 heavens would be slaughtered in front of Sudang. If he met a realm level, he could save his life, even if he couldn't beat them. Sudang suddenly stopped, and Feng Larangzi also noticed it, sensing a spiritual vibration on the vast plain. It's the direction of the demon refining lake. Sudang soared into the sky, quickly flew high, and looked further away. With his current vision, as long as there is no obstacle, he can see any scene within 100 miles at a glance. It was about 50 miles away from where he was. There was a mound, and on the mound there was a terrifying and huge human-shaped white bone monster. The white bone monster had open bone wings behind it, and the bone wings spread out, as if covering the entire mound. There were also many white bone monsters around, and in the siege of many monsters, a boy with a broken arm was fleeing and fighting. At the same time, one of the arms of the white bone monster whipped down fiercely. Innate creature? Sudang's eyes fixed, and he could see from a distance that the young man was an immortal level innate creature. Although he was an immortal level creature, he seemed to be extremely good at dodging. He was still struggling under many attacks. The 10,000 Bone Demon King, one of the 12 heavenly demons in Lion Yados. Sudang narrowed his eyes slightly, and a murderous look flashed in his eyes. The 10,000 Bone Demon King, it is said that his original body was born as a demon by absorbing the spiritual energy of corpses in the burial pit on the battlefield. He likes to devour bones, and his demon body is strong, mastering 9 parts of power. Evil creature, die. Sudang snorted coldly. As an innate creature, how could he stand by and watch him die? A golden transparent long sword appeared in his hand, and clusters of golden flames danced on the blade of the long sword. The long sword in his hand swung violently. Whoosh! A dazzling golden sword light flew out instantly. This golden sword light, which was dozens of feet long, illuminated the night sky like a golden crescent moon, directly across the sky, and slashed towards the 10,000 Bone Demon King. The sword technique is extinct in all directions, and then amplified by the purple cube. The 10,000 Bone Demon King, who is 50 miles away, is still swinging his bone arms wildly, cracking a large area of land and flying mud. The one-armed boy is like a fallen leaf floating in the wind, constantly fluttering and avoiding, and the eternal demon king can't whip him no matter what. A god level innate creature with such a strong body technique. I can also get a lot of rewards if I capture him alive and send him to the commander. The eternal demon king felt happy instead. His commander is a realm level monster Deadwood. Deadwood's body is an ancient tree. Although the monster body is tyrannical, it is inconvenient to move and can only rely on taking over other creatures to make up for the shortcomings. Like the realm level big monster, taking over can only take over the human race, monster beasts, or innate creatures below the god level and the god level. And after taking over, it is extremely difficult to improve the strength. So the best thing is to take over the innate creatures. Even if the innate creatures don't need to practice, they can naturally grow and break through. In addition, the innate creatures have inherited memories, talents, and various unique advantages, so the innate creatures are the best choice for possession. It can be seen that, although the innate creatures are loved by heaven and earth, they also face great dangers. Fortunately, possession is also a great secret method, and there are not many strong people who can do it. The world level tree demon Kumu spent a lot of money to get this secret method. Because of the limitation of the body, it likes the innate creatures who are good at body movement and speed. Want to escape? Clusters of blue flames emerged from the bones of the 10,000 bones demon king. A bone arm was pulled down suddenly, and the speed suddenly increased. Hide, hide, hide. I can only rely on the body movement that Grandpa had taught me to dodge. Grandpa Long, if you don't come again, I will die here young. The young Yi Yang was completely immersed in dodging. Although he was young, he had extraordinary blood of innate creatures. He was only at the fairy level, but his body movement was really extraordinary. At this time, a knife light arrived. The golden knife light cut through the night sky and burst over, accompanied by that cold snort. Evil creature, die. The 10,000 bones demon king looked back at the knife light, and with a glance, he easily felt that the knife light was only divine power and had not reached the heavenly level. A fairy level little guy was rushing over 50 miles away. A fairy level little guy dares to provoke me. The 10,000 bones demon king sneered. He stretched his bone wings and faced the knife light. He didn't care about the flying knife light at all. Who is he? The heavenly level monster 10,000 bones demon king. His body of bones has long been condensed and extremely powerful. He is one of the best among the heavenly level monsters. Puff. A huge piece of bone wing broke off and flew up. Countless black mists gushed out from the broken skeleton. The knife light penetrated into it. The huge skeleton body of the 10,000 bones demon king was embedded in the knife light, and its entire body was almost split in half. How is it possible? The 10,000 bones demon king was stunned by the knife. A fairy level, a knife light from 50 miles away almost killed it! Exclamation mark. The knife light fell on my bone wing, like waves drilling into my body. This immortal level, it's too scary. But he has lived for a long time, and has seen the world. He dragged the only bone wing left. This book has been updated recently in update. Forget it, this innate creature can only be let go. He gave up without hesitation. The 10,000 bone demon king soared into the sky and turned into a black mist. The black mist rolled through the air and flew away. Many white bone monsters also scattered. Whoosh. Sudan turned into a stream of light in the night sky and chased after it. Benefactor. My name is Yi Yang, Zibo Yi Yang. The young innate creature with a broken arm below shouted to Sudan. But Sudan didn't stop at all and flew away directly. That is the fluctuation of the innate creature. The benefactor is also an innate creature. The immortal level innate creature is so strong. Is he the senior brother of the 9 realms hall who suppressed the 10,000 bone demon king to kill him? The young Zibo Yi Yang thought to himself. Sudan glanced at the young man below and heard the latter's shout. Zibo Yi Yang, Zibo. Sudan remembered that he had seen it when he was studying the 9 realms. Isn't Zibo the surname of the ancient country of the 9 realms? But Sudan didn't think much about it. He looked directly at the fleeing 10,000 bones demon king in front of him with cold eyes. 100 feet. As long as I get within 100 feet of him, I can use the power of the earth to trap him. Sudan was surrounded by 5 colored light, whistling and chasing the black fog in front. After a moment, the distance between the two did not shorten. The eyes of the 10,000 Bones Demon King appeared in the black fog. Haha, I'm a god after all. You are a god level, and your speed can't catch up with me. You can't catch up with me. The 10,000 Bones Demon King laughed happily, and at the same time, sent a message to his many fellow demons, asking them to come to help quickly. Can't catch up with you? Sudang's face was cold, and his palm waved forward. A silver light flashed, and a dark temple suddenly appeared. Sudang plunged into the temple. Chapter 333, First Exploration of the Demon Refining Lake. Wow. The dark temple was surrounded by mist, and it accelerated in an instant. The 10,000 Bones Demon King looked back. The Void Temple. The Void Palace Master came to this world? There was no way. The Void Temple was too famous, and anyone with a little knowledge would know it. The 9 realms also had the Void Temple inheritance, but it was relatively rare. If it appeared, it would be regarded as the Void Palace Master in the Void coming to the world. The means adopted by the 9 realms ancient country for this was that the Void Palace Master would kill when he saw it, and was not afraid of the Void God Court at all. Because the Void Palace Master could only be regarded as a peripheral member of the Void God Court. The 10,000 Bones Demon King also took out a flying boat magic weapon and rushed out at a faster speed. But the Void Temple chased after it, and the hazy black light enveloped the temple. After all, this Void Temple was the symbol of the Void God Court, one of the 3 top forces in the Void. Even if it was not the core magic weapon of the God Court, it was also a palace flying magic weapon scattered throughout the Void that made the strong jealous. In terms of accelerated flight, how could the flying boat taken out by the 10,000 Bones Demon King be comparable? With an acceleration, the huge Void Temple directly hit the flying boat driven by the 10,000 Bones Demon King in front. Bang! With a burst of mighty power, the flying boat exploded directly, and the 10,000 Bones Demon King was directly blown out. He flew in a panic, and was hit by the Void Temple again. His body was almost smashed to pieces. Huge cracks appeared on his white bone body. If he was hit again, he would be killed. But the 10,000 Bones Demon King hurriedly dodged in a curve. Suddenly, the impact power brought by the acceleration of the Void Temple was useless. The temple collision can only be done under specific circumstances. 50 feet is enough. Sudang walked out of the Void Temple. The 10,000 Bones Demon King fled frantically. Master of the Void Temple, I have no grudges against you. Why do you want to kill me? It would be fine if he attacked it at the moment, but why did he chase it and kill it so persistently? How could it offend this immortal level but powerful master of the Void Temple? Leave it to me. Sudang was too lazy to talk nonsense with it. He snorted coldly. The 5-colored diamond crystal at the center of his eyebrows emitted a hazy 5-colored light, which suddenly spread out with him as the center. The 10,000 Bones Demon King tried his best to dodge, but the 5-colored spiritual light enveloped him from all directions. The power of the earth permeated under Sudang's feet. The power of the earth directly merged into the purple cube and stimulated it, with Sudang as the center. The 5-colored light expanded wantonly, and a 5-colored light ball field was directly condensed within 100 feet in the night sky. A large amount of power gathered in it. The 10,000 Bones Demon King was instantly enveloped by the light ball, and his stunned figure stopped. He seemed to be trapped in a terrible prison, and his whole body was squeezed by terrible gravity. The huge white bone body was directly crushed down. Sudang's innate secret method, the power of the earth. My body can't move. What kind of method is this? A world level divine power field. The 10,000 Bones Demon King couldn't even move his mouth. His whole body seemed to solidify, and only his thoughts were spinning rapidly. He didn't know that this was Sudang's innate secret method. Of course, it was an enhanced innate secret method that was strengthened by the purple cube. The 10,000 Bone Demon King couldn't move. Sudang waved his hand and his body flew in front of Sudang. Lord of the Void Palace, you came to adventure in this world, right? I'm willing to submit to you. I'm very familiar with this area, and I know where there are treasures in the world. We have a big secret in our command, which is that it has a great influence in the Void. If you don't kill me, I will take you there. Although the 10,000 Bone Demon King is a bone demon, he has no backbone at all. He quickly and frantically transmitted his voice. In his opinion, he couldn't escape from the Lord of the Void Palace in front of him. This was not a fairy level, but even more terrible than the realm level. What secret? Sudong was ready to kill the big demon, and asked again. The secret that only we monsters know. I will take you there. Other monsters will come soon. If I die, they won't take you there. The 10,000 Bone Demon King saw the murderous intent in Sudong's eyes, and his heart skipped a beat, struggling to transmit his voice. But just as his voice transmission fell, a terrifying force of gravity suddenly crushed down from above his head. Puff. No. The 10,000 Bones Demon King suddenly let out a shrill roar, and his entire white bone body was directly crushed by the power of the earth, turning into black mist that was squeezed and dispersed by gravity, and finally only a part of the skull remained. That part was like a piece of blue jade, extremely hard, and Sudong could not crush the power of the earth amplified by the purple cube. This is the hardest bone in the body of the 10,000 Bones Demon King. It is also the gathering of all his demonic power, and it can also be regarded as a kind of gem. Sudong held the blue jade in his hand. The heaven-level great demon did not even bring a storage bag. Only this jade was left, wrapped in 5-color light, and then the blue jade disappeared. The blue jade has entered his core data space and slowly decomposed to nourish his 5-color stone body. 12 big monsters. Eliminate one first. According to this white bone monster, this demon refining lake seems to hide some secrets. It has a great influence in the void? Yes, looking at it, it should not be lying. You can see through it at a glance. Fenglao Rangs he also said. Sudong nodded slightly. This book has been updated recently in .. Update. It is said that there will be another big monster coming soon. Then I will see what secrets these monsters have. Sudong smiled, and then he activated the 108 methods and the power of the earth. Wow. Sudong's body surface flashed with a 5-color light, and the original Sudong turned directly into the appearance of the previous white bone monster king, but his body was much smaller, and not as huge. Law of heaven and earth. Sudong activated the method of the sky repairing art. His figure quickly rose, and in a blink of an eye, he was surrounded by a majestic demonic aura, and the 10,000 Bone Monster King with a pair of complete bone wings behind him appeared. Floating in the air, there was a blue flame burning under his feet. Even his aura had completely changed into that of the 10,000 Bones Demon King. He collected the Void Temple and other things. The 10,000 Bones Demon King that Sudong transformed into was extremely cold, with a surging demonic aura. He walked through the void in the night sky. The night sky was like walking on flat ground to him. He walked step by step. After walking about a few hundred meters, he suddenly turned his eyes and scanned the front with a cold gaze, as if he could see through everything through the night sky. Great Lord. There was a group of small white bone demon beasts flying over. Seeing that the 10,000 Bones Demon King was intact, everyone flattered him. Then, a bloodlight shot from a distance. Wongu, I came here as soon as I received the message. Is the Void Palace Master really a divine innate creature? The bloodlight rushed over. He suddenly turned into a burly humanoid demon beast about 3 meters tall, and the whole body was like a big mountain cat. The blood-colored hair covered the whole body of the demon beast like a robe. Blood Cat Sky Demon, one of the 12 great sky-level demon beasts in Lion Yaoze, is good at pursuit and escape. There are few sky-level demon beasts that can surpass it in pursuit and escape. The Lord of the Void Palace has left. Sudong's 10,000 Bones Demon King said. Escaped. The Blood Cat Demon was a little surprised, shrugged his nose, and then looked at the 10,000 Bones Demon King with sharp teeth at the corners of his mouth. Begu, I came here because I heard you asking for help, but now I can't see the Lord of the Void Palace. Are you lying to me? Hear my call for help? It's because you heard me say that it was a divine innate creature. If you left, you left. If you want to chase it, you can chase it yourself. Sudong's 10,000 Bones Demon King snorted coldly, and then ignored the Blood Cat Demon, and flew away directly. This Begu. The Blood Cat gritted his teeth. It would not come to rescue the 10,000 Bones Demon King, but only for the divine innate creature. Looking at the 10,000 Bones Demon King leaving, the Blood Cat Demon also followed. Why doesn't this white bone ride on his black mist? Blood Cat looked at the flying figure of the 10,000 Bones Demon King in front of him and felt puzzled. Chapter 334, God King's Restriction. The 10,000 Bones Demon King was a demon who was cultivated from the bones of 1,000,000 people. After becoming a demon, other monsters cultivated spiritual energy and true essence, but it cultivated demonic energy and dead energy. Although I have transformed into the appearance of the 10,000 Bones Demon King, I don't know its Taoism. Su Dongfei was in front, but he muttered to himself. Of course, he, a fake, didn't dare to release his spiritual energy at will. However, the 12 demons in Lion Yao's all have quirks. Although they are all great demons, they are divided into camps and fight each other. The fights between demon beasts are 10 times or 100 times more tragic than those of humans. Many demon beasts rose up completely by stepping on the corpses of powerful demon beasts one after another. The friendship is even more nonsense. It's normal for him to be indifferent, not driving his black fog, nor driving his flying boat, flying slowly. The Blood Cat demon became more and more confused. The 10,000 Bones Demon King has always acted flamboyantly, wishing that all demon beasts would be afraid of him. Why is he so low-key today? How could it know that the 10,000 Bones Demon King's flying boat had been smashed to pieces, and it was impossible to control it? HMPH, you deceived and seduced me, saying that you were a super powerful innate creature of the immortal level. You totally lied to me. The Blood Cat Sky Demon was dissatisfied and angry. At their level, hatred is accumulated over time from trivial matters. Today, the 10,000 Bone Demon King made it very unhappy. Originally, it planned to come here to watch the 10,000 Bone Demon King being killed, and then kill the immortal level Void Palace Master to reap the benefits, but in the end it came in vain. How can it not be angry? After crossing the plain for 5,000 miles, a huge swamp forest covered with dark fog, dark green miasma, and various demonic auras appeared on the ground. The low-lying earthen mounds were like the backs of wild beasts. This is the refining demon marsh. It is also a place where demon beasts gather, but the environment of this refining demon marsh is much worse than that of the demon capital. Su Dong was still on the plain, looking at the terrible swamp filled with demonic aura in front of him. The demon city of Xiang's Bachan is more like a primeval forest. Although there are many kinds of demon beasts, the spiritual energy is also extremely rich. In addition, there are top innate creatures in the world lurking in the demon city. Obviously, the environment has also been specially modified. But this Yao Lions is different. There are very few demon beasts in Yao Lions who cultivate spiritual energy. They are either devoted to cultivating their demon bodies and devouring flesh and blood creatures, causing surging resentment, or they are focused on absorbing and refining demon energy, and the demon energy fills their bodies like the 10,000 Bones Demon King, and the whole environment has changed because of this. The world level demon Kumu in Yao Lions has dominated Yao Lions for nearly 10,000 years. Why is there no clan around that can kill it? The Nine Realms ancient country doesn't care. Su Dong thought to himself. A world level monster. Su Dong, the law of survival of the fittest among monsters, is much more severe and bloody than that of our human civilization. This dead tree can cultivate from a tree to the world level. First of all, he is also a congenital creature that has become a monster. Secondly, he has reached the world level, which must have attracted the attention of stronger monsters. It is possible that he is the pawn of several major monster forces. Feng Lao Rungs, he reminded. Then he told some secrets. In the entire void, there are countless species. From the perspective of the human race, almost all races that are hostile to humans are collectively called monsters. But these monsters also have their own civilization forces. They have survived and multiplied until now, and of course they have given birth to many superpowers. These superpowers have also created super monster forces between heaven and earth. These forces send groups of monsters into pieces of heaven and earth to erode and cultivate, causing many monsters to fight and kill each other, and also allowing the monster groups to continuously cultivate strong ones. Since the intention is to cultivate, of course the top human beings cannot be allowed to intervene. It is said that countless years ago, the human civilization and the monsters had a war that really affected the entire void level. The endless void is almost everywhere in the world. Countless strong men were killed and injured, and countless lives were destroyed by that battle. Later, with the intervention of other powerful tribes, a ceasefire agreement was formulated. This agreement includes the restriction that the God King level strongman cannot kill at will. There is still this restriction. Sudong was stunned. The God King level cannot be easily attacked? That's right. For the God King level strongman, once they attack, it will be a massacre. Of course. If someone who doesn't have eyes provokes the God King level strongman, he deserves to be killed. After all, as long as the God King does not kill, it's fine. Being able to rise up to become a world-class monster in the fiercely competitive monster beast environment, this dead tree has obviously attracted the attention of the big forces behind it. If it doesn't provoke the God King will not take action against it. The dead tree lives in the demon refining marsh all year round. If the God King comes to take action, he must slaughter countless monsters in the demon refining marsh, which will violate the restrictions. The big monster beast forces will naturally retaliate wildly when they find an excuse. As for the world-class attack, there have been many strong men who came to the demon refining marsh to kill the dead tree monster beast in history, but the dead tree is still alive and well, and many world-class strong men who came to kill it have died. This demon refining marsh is a stronghold of monster beasts. It erodes the surrounding clans and tribes. If the dead tree can be destroyed, the world-class strong men will come. It is easy to destroy this demon refining marsh. On the vast land, every day, the human tribes are destroyed by monster beasts, or the monster beast tribe territories are destroyed by human strongmen. Survival of the fittest, the strong survive. I'm no match for that world level monster, Deadwood. Let's first deal with the 12 celestial monsters in the demon refining lake, and then check what secrets this demon refining lake has. Sudong is very clear about his own strength. Although there are few opponents of his in the heaven level, there is a qualitative change in the world level. If you don't reach that level, you can't imagine how powerful the world level is. Especially if it is a congenital creature that becomes a world level. Generally, the strong ones of the world level are not opponents at all. Deadwood occupies the demon refining lake and gathers many heavenly monsters. After these heavenly monsters have caused trouble, they also hide in the demon refining lake. Many people dare not take revenge because they are afraid of the world monster Deadwood. If the world level does not hesitate to take revenge, they can force their way in and kill a few heavenly monsters, but the final result is likely to be death at the hands of the world monster Deadwood. Sacrificing a world god to avenge the heavenly monster is not worth it. The demon refining lake has existed for so long, all thanks to the strong strength of the world monster Deadwood. This book has been updated recently in update. But Sudong is not afraid. Sudong had no confidence in killing the dead tree, but with his innate secret method in the Void Temple, he was sure to save his life. This time when I went out, I left the number 1 key in Su Garden, just in case. This was his last trump card. If he really encountered life-threatening situations, he would just teleport back. With such a strong ability to save his life, if Sudong didn't dare to take the risk to kill a few celestial demons again, he would be ashamed of his many abilities. Pass through the first layer of miasma. Humph. Just after passing through the first layer of miasma outside the refining demon lake, a cold snort suddenly came from behind. Sudong couldn't help but turn his head. There was a blue flame burning in the empty eye sockets on the terrifying and hideous head of the 10,000 Bones Demon King. He looked at the blood cat celestial demon turning into bloodlight and flying into an underground cave in the west that was completely covered by weeds. That is the residence of the blood cat celestial demon. Sudong made a note in his heart. If he wanted to kill these celestial demons, the best way was to gather them together. Of course, if conditions did not allow, he would kill them separately, and he would also kill them from the inside out. This way, he could kill more, and it would be easier for him to escape. Sudong looked up at the moonlight that was completely blocked by the miasma and flew into the demon refining lake with many white bone demons behind him. Chapter 335, Innate Creatures and Celestial Demons. The moonlight could not reach the demon refining marsh, but there were many strange lights inside the demon refining marsh, strangely scattered crystals, a swamp emitting dark green light and fluttering in the wind, and dark red lights on the tree trunks dragging pieces of flesh and blood. There was a white bone demon leading the way in front. Wangu, are you still alive? Haha, can't you even beat a fairy level? When passing by two huge pools of water, one on the left and one on the right, a huge dark green dragon head stretched out on the left, and the dragon head had a pair of dark green eyes. In front of it were all dead fish and shrimps and human remains. On the right was a colorful huge monster fish. The body of the monster fish was very small, but its head was dozens of times larger than its body. The biggest part of the head was the bloody mouth covered with fangs and spikes. Sudong turned into the 10,000 Bone Demon King and looked at them coldly. The black dragon and the evil fish among the 12 heavenly demons. Sudong ignored them and walked over directly. Strange, how did this 10,000 bones change its nature? It would have used its bone claws to wave at me normally. The two celestial demons were puzzled. After a long time together, their personalities had long been fixed. How could it change so suddenly? The two demons carefully sensed the breath. It's the decaying smell of the bones. This smell makes me sick. The black dragon narrowed its evil eyes. Through the breath sensing, it was extremely sure that this was the familiar 10,000 Bones Demon King. But how could a personality change so suddenly? Did he suffer a huge blow? This is too difficult for celestial demons like them. Sudong flapped his bone wings, and his huge body rose from the ground and flew to a cave with a white bone tower full of strange white bones, some human and some monster bones. There were faint blue ghost fires floating around the tower. No need to ask, this is the cave of the 10,000 Bones Demon King. You go to the cave and wait, Sudong said coldly. The white bone demons did not dare to disobey and immediately entered the cave to do their duties. Swish. Sudong's figure flashed and sank directly into the darkness. He used his body skills and quietly sank into the depths of the swamp. He transformed into the 10,000 Bones Demon King. He was one of the 12 great demons. There was no place in the demon refining marsh that he could not go. After practicing for these days, Sudong had a better grasp of his own power. In addition, he comprehended the Taoism day and night, and he also had some clues about the third level of the Taoist Yin Yang 5-color light void escape. In this Taoism, the only level that involves the speed of body skills is the void escape. After the great success, it can be used to fly quickly in the void, not to mention in the world. The treasures of heaven and earth that Sudong devoured these days are also mostly for this level of Taoism. Most of the void escape Taoism is to increase speed, especially the flying speed, to an extreme. It is unimaginable. At that time, Sudong chased the 10,000 Bones Demon King, and he would rather summon the Void Temple than expose the void escape. First, he deliberately let the 10,000 Bones Demon King recognize his identity as the Lord of the Void Palace. Second, it was also a hidden means. Otherwise, if he notified Lion Yaos before his death, the latter would be on guard at this moment. There are two more heavenly demon caves. They are brother and sister spider monsters. The two spiders, who are called brother and sister, are both heavenly demons. Another one was discovered. There are caves, but there are no heavenly demons in the caves. What about monsters? Sudong was puzzled. He flew all the way to the depths. At the same time, he carefully explored the secrets that the 10,000 Bones Demon King mentioned. Miasma was everywhere, and demonic light was everywhere. Sudong quickly moved forward in this miasma. Fortunately, these monsters were also distributed in a regular pattern, forming a regional ring along the depths. Like the outermost blood cat heavenly demon, its strength is the weakest, and it lives in the most marginal underground cave. The slightly inferior black dragon and evil fish live in the pool of the 10th ring. The 10,000 Bones Demon King is not bad, living within the 10th ring. This shows that the strength of the 10,000 Bones Demon King is stronger than that of the Blood Cat Heavenly Demon. This is also why the 10,000 Bones Demon King, who Sudong transformed into, played a trick on it, but it was angry, but did not dare to take action. You should know that the Boundary Demon Withered Wood not only does not restrict them from taking action, but also encourages them to kill each other. As long as it is one-on-one, the winner is still qualified to take everything from the other side. The deeper you go to the refining demon marsh, the more powerful the monsters living there are. The center is naturally the cave of the Boundary Demon Withered Wood. Along the way, he passed by a total of 6 caves, 4 of which were empty. Except for the 10,000 Bones Demon King and the previous one, Sudong has seen the other 7 heavenly demons. He recorded the locations one by one. The caves of these heavenly demons are far apart, so it is best to kill them in secret. Where did the other 4 heavenly demons go? Did they go out like the 10,000 Bones Demon King? What is the secret that the 10,000 Bones Demon King said? It has a great influence in the void. Sudong is most curious about that secret. The 10,000 Bones Demon King still hopes that the secret can save his life. Obviously, this secret is extremely valuable. Sudong gradually moved forward, gradually approaching the deepest part of the demon refining lake. The deepest part was much quieter, with only a few strange looking monsters patrolling. These monsters were uniform and obviously had the same bloodline. Sudong couldn't tell what kind of monster it was. There were too many types of monsters, and if they were not too famous, Sudong would naturally not remember them. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Sudong crossed a small hill covered with poisonous plants in the night. Hurry up and send more heads here. Why are you so slow? It's so slow to kill a person and take his heart. Be careful, don't damage those heads. There were many immortal level monsters gathered here, and one of them was a jackal-like human monster pointing at 2 crawling vicious dog monsters and scolding them. One of the 2 vicious dogs was carrying a large cloth bag full of bloody hearts on its back, and the other was carrying a large number of human heads. The heads had all their hair shaved off. The 2 evil dog monsters growled. They had never learned Taoism, so naturally they could not speak human language. Sudong's eyes were cold, and his figure flashed by. These little monsters could not find him at all. Although the void escape Taoism had not yet been fully developed, it was too easy to avoid these little monsters. What do these monsters do with so many human hearts and heads? Sudong's heart was filled with murderous intent. During this period, the Xiangquan clan had been repeatedly robbed and killed, and there were many of his Xiangquan clan's children among them. It must be related to the big secret. Feng Lao rungs, he reminded. Monsters are not good at formations. Many formations are opened by corroding the formations with primate blood sacrifices. It looks like a blood sacrifice. Sudong nodded immediately. After a sneak peek, he found that these humans had been dead for a long time, and they should have died before entering the Yao's refining lake. Following the route these monsters used to transport human hearts and heads, he jumped over a mountain and suddenly approached a huge pit. Are the remaining 4 celestial demons here? Sudong's core data concealed his breath, and looked over from a distance. But he saw the figures of heavenly demons crawling there. All of them were powerful demons close to the top 4 among the 12 heavenly demons. No, there are 5 auras, and that aura is different. Is it an innate creature? Sudong's eyes suddenly focused. His sight penetrated the air, and saw a figure floating above the pit in the distance. Under her, demon beasts were crawling in the swamp, and she was wearing a red dress, and standing on a white bone sword. She looked down coldly, with a smile on her lips, revealing her fine and dense sharp teeth and fangs. An innate creature heavenly demon! Exclamation mark. The 13th heavenly demon in the demon refining lake. Chapter 336 Temple. All the clans around the demon refining lake thought that there were only 12 heavenly demons in the demon refining lake, but there was one more. Or was it an innate creature that became a heavenly demon? Sudong's heart moved slightly. When an innate creature becomes heavenly level, its strength is generally above that of an ordinary heavenly level. This innate creature is so well hidden. Did it just become a heavenly demon? Or has it never left the demon refining lake? Feng Lao, can you tell what kind of innate creature she is? Sudong sent a telepathic message. It's hard to tell, after she transformed into this form. Feng Lao rungs, he spoke. After all, she was in a special state, and it was difficult to sense the breath of the red-clothed female demon. Sudong nodded slightly, but he didn't care. After all, there was not much difference between the 12 heavenly demons and the 13 heavenly demons to him. His eyes moved downwards. The 5 great heavenly demons are all gathered here. Sudong saw the bottom of the deep pit. It was a deep cave entrance, and there was a tall blood-colored altar at the entrance. The blood-colored altar emitted a faint bloody light, and countless human heads and hearts were swallowed by the altar, forming a thick bloody light full of resentment. The bloody light continued to erode to the center of the deep pit, where there was a faint golden light, but at this moment the golden light was completely entangled and eroded by the thick blood. Although the golden light was dim, Sudan felt a sense of peace and tranquility from the bottom of his heart when he saw it. Let the 5 great heavenly demons guard it. This should be the big secret that the 10,000 Bones Demon King said. The distance is too far. I have to watch it from a closer distance. The bloody light emitted by the blood-colored altar was too strong, and with the blockade of the 5 great heavenly demons, Sudan could not see it clearly from this angle. However, this is the core area of the demon refining lake after all. The 5 great heavenly demons gathered here, and their demon power and demon consciousness gathered and explored all the time. There were even powerful formations around it. But, as Sudan approached, the 5 great demon consciousnesses swept over Sudan at the same time. 10,000 bones, white bones. The 5 great celestial demons turned their heads at the same time, watching the 10,000 Bones Demon King that Sudan transformed into stride in, and walked to the edge of the deep pit. Although they looked at each other in confusion, they did not stop him. After all, he was a familiar celestial demon, and the aura he had scanned was also the 10,000 Bones Demon King. 10,000 bones, why are you here? A tiger-headed monster stared at Sudan with a dark golden cold luster in his eyes. I met a powerful immortal level innate creature, the Void Palace Master, who was extremely powerful. He defeated me easily. Fortunately, I was able to escape quickly and escape back. I haven't reported to the commander yet. The 10,000 Bones Demon King that Sudan transformed into spoke. He could feel the powerful pressure from the tiger-headed celestial demon, who was obviously the most powerful of the 12 celestial demons, the 9-layer heavenly demon Tiger Demon King. As he spoke, Sudan looked down. As he got closer, Sudan's eyes easily penetrated the blood-light barrier and saw the golden light below. The area where the golden light was located was also at the bottom of the deep pit. The golden light was dim, but Sudan could still see it clearly. It was a huge golden gate. There was a golden lotus mark in the center of the gate. The lotus mark seemed to be swaying gently, rippling with divine power that made people calm. Is this blood-colored altar meant to erode this golden giant gate? He could see with his naked eyes that in the entire deep pit, in the center of the bloodlight full of monstrous resentment, the golden giant gate, although dim in light, seemed to be located there, the core of the entire world. The spiritual energy gathered by this gate seems to be more condensed than the entire Xiang family underground palace. Endless divine power and might are gathered inside this gate. Sudan understood that there was such momentum outside the gate alone, and the scene behind the gate must be even more unimaginable. This is the great secret of this Yao Lians, Sudan said secretly. He saw that the image was transmitted to his mind, and transmitted to Feng Lao Rong's his eyes through his mind. Naturally, he saw the swaying golden lotus on the golden giant gate at a glance. Golden lotus, that is the symbol of Buddhism in the void, and the power is so strong that only one relic in the entire void can do it. Is it a temple? The temple of the eternal Buddha realm? Feng Lao Rong's his voice changed. No wonder this secret has a huge impact in the void. This is a legend in the void. The temple that came from the eternal Buddha realm. Temple. Sudan was puzzled. He had never heard of it. Yes. Feng Lao Rong's he was solemn and firm. In the vast void, there are many mysterious legends, such as the Void Temple and some relics of god kings and emperors. They can only be regarded as ordinary opportunities, not legends, but the legend of the temple in the eternal Buddha realm is enough to make the god king excited. One of the most famous legends in the void is the temple of the eternal Buddha realm. The temples are all the remains of the top Buddhas in the Buddhist world when they passed away. Generally, many treasures are placed in the temples. Historically, whenever a temple was found in the void, it would be robbed by countless powerful people. After all, it was the remains of a Buddha-level powerhouse. Buddha was a powerful person that the rulers of the ancient countries of the 9 realms had to be polite to. Damn, didn't you say that the temple was behind this golden giant door? Sudan's body was shaken. The vast void is full of legends, and he could actually encounter it here. Is his luck so good? Absolutely. Did you see the golden lotus mark? That is definitely the power of the top mark, which is the power of the mark condensed by the Buddha's Dharma. He can condense the power of the mark during his lifetime, and it still does not disperse after his death. You can imagine how powerful this Buddha is. Feng Lao Rongzi exclaimed. In the void, Some of the power of the mark is naturally formed, but some are condensed by the top powerhouses with their own divine power. Every time a temple appears, the location coordinates alone represent a huge fortune. This book has been updated recently in update. Because there are too many powerful people who want to snatch it. This demon from the refining demon lake realm, the Deadwood, was able to think of a way to slowly corrode the temple gate with a blood sacrifice altar. He must have recognized this temple. There must be a big force behind him, but he certainly didn't notify that force. Otherwise a divine emperor level strongman would have come to take the temple away long ago. After all, the temple is a legendary wealth that even the ruler of the 9 realms would be jealous of. This demon beast from the refining demon lake wants to take this temple for itself. It's a pity that they met me. Sudang stared at the golden swaying golden lotus in the deep pit in the distance with fanatical eyes. Wealth. This is real wealth. As long as all the demon beasts in the refining demon lake are eliminated, this wealth will be his. A god level innate creature, the Void Palace Master. The Void Palace Master is elusive, and it is impossible to catch up. The Demon Tiger Demon King shook his head. The Void Palace Master controls the Void Temple. It is possible that he has already driven the Void Temple into the void at this moment. How can they chase him? A divine innate creature defeated you? The red-clothed female demon looked at the 10,000 Bones Demon King with a cold gaze. Such a powerful innate creature is likely to be a member of the Void God Court. It should be the bloodline of a divine king level innate creature, or it has awakened a super powerful innate secret method. The red-clothed woman opened and closed her sharp teeth, ferocious and terrifying. No matter which one it is worth our attention. White Bones, show us what the Lord of the Void Palace looks like. The 10,000 Bones Demon King transformed by Sudang nodded and pointed casually. An image appeared in front of the demons. An image of a huge temple appeared, and a figure walked out of it. But the figure was blurry, and could not be seen clearly at all. All the demons frowned. The weakest of the 5 heavenly demons, the goat demon, was full of fierce demonic energy. It looked at the image, and was immediately dissatisfied. Can't even see the appearance clearly? Just as it was about to attack. Suddenly, a bone arm with an extremely terrifying sharp edge suddenly pierced its neck, like an extremely sharp bone knife, passing through everything. Chapter 337. She is a world demon. After all, the goat demon is a heavenly demon beast, and its demon body is also strong. Moreover, it mainly practices the soul method. The core of life is also the soul. If the soul sea of consciousness is not destroyed, it can't die. When the goat head flew out, the goat demon's eyes saw the bone arm that was quickly withdrawn, which made it shocked and angry, and it was also shocked. Bone. The goat demon's eyes were wide open. Why? Although these demon beasts usually fight, most of them are head-on confrontations to sharpen themselves. Unless they fight for treasures, they will sneak attack, but there are no treasures here. Suddenly sneak attacking it is obviously to put it to death. Why? Why does Wongu want to kill me? Have I offended it? The goat demon was shocked, but although shocked and confused, he still used all his strength to activate the method to restore his body. At the same time, the majestic soul attack has burst out from his mind like a poisonous snake, shooting towards the 10,000 Bones Demon King. The 10,000 Bones Demon King is famous for his strong body and weak soul. It is born to restrain the 10,000 Bones Demon King. But the 10,000 Bones Demon King did not dodge at all. Resisting its soul attack, it swung its bone claw again. Puff. The goat demon's head, which had just recovered its neck, had no way to escape, and was directly shattered by a claw. It didn't even have the chance to scream. In an instant, the demon from the demon refining lake died. Begu. Did you do it? Begu killed the goat. The other 4 demons, including the innate creature red-clothed female demon, also looked over in shock. Although fighting is encouraged, for many years, few of the 12 demons in the demon refining lake have died, but now one of them has died, and in front of them. They couldn't figure it out, and couldn't believe it. It stands to reason that the goat demon's strength is still above that of the 10,000 Bones Demon King, so how dare the 10,000 Bones Demon King take action? Instantly attacked, and killed the goat with 2 swings of his arms in less than a breath. A strange demon with spikes on his back had fear in his eyes. Although it was a sneak attack, It also proved the terrifying strength of the 10,000 Bones Demon King. HMPH. The Demon Tiger King snorted angrily, and purple magic patterns swirled around him. His body suddenly became larger, as if it was the size of a small hill. Its huge tiger claws pounced towards Sudang. "Are you attacking us in front of us? You're looking for death." The goat was the closest Demon King friend to it for so long. Did he die just like that? Immediately, the tiger claws struggled to grab the body of the 10,000 Bones Demon King. The 10,000 Bones Demon King did not dodge, but turned his body into a stream of light and rushed towards the Demon Tiger King. A pair of eyes burning with blue ghost fire were full of cold murderous intent. Kill. Sudang started to take action, first slaughtering these heavenly demons in the refining demon lake. So far, except for the boundary demon Kumyu, who has not been discovered, the whereabouts of the 13 heavenly demons are all known, and it's time to take action. You're looking for death. When the Demon Tiger King saw the 10,000 Bones Demon King coming to kill him, the tiger claws of the Demon Tiger King expanded and became larger, carrying a majestic demon power, and the purple magic patterns around him floated, forming a heavenly demon domain. As the leader of the 12 heavenly demons in the demon refining lake, the Demon Tiger Demon King has reached a very high level of a heavenly demon in terms of realm, bloodline, Taoism, and combat experience. On weekdays, he can naturally kill the 10,000 Bones Demon King with one claw. But at this moment, the 10,000 Bones Demon King was transformed by Sudang. At the moment when the two attacked and collided, Sudang's white bone arm completely turned into a bone knife. The extreme mode was turned on, the knife method was extinct in all directions, and then the Taoism and realm marks were mobilized 3 times, and amplified by the purple cube. I saw a bone knife that was completely transformed into a phantom instantly penetrated the air, and the terrifying knife light reflected the surrounding range of 100 meters, which directly shocked some small demon beasts to death. The bone knife's blade light instantly crushed the demon power field of the Demon Tiger Demon King. The strength of this top heavenly demon was affected. Puff. The bone knife did not stop. The dazzling knife light lit up. Unlike the attacking methods of these monsters, although Sudang's swordsmanship has not improved for a long time, it has reached the powerful level, and with the application of the purple cube power shockwave, Sudang's sword slashed, and one sword was like 1,000 swords, and the waves of power forcibly penetrated into the huge tiger body of the Demon Tiger Demon King. Not good. The Demon Tiger Demon King felt that his demon power field was directly crushed. His face changed. When did this Wongu become so powerful? He immediately wanted to give up the attack, and a bronze shield appeared in his claws, trying to block the bone knife of the Wongu Demon King. Then the bone knife slashed on its bronze shield. The unstoppable bone knife reflected the bright light, and fell on the shield. It easily sank into the shield for several feet. Blocked. The Demon Tiger Demon King hadn't breathed a sigh of relief yet. Suddenly, the power that penetrated the shield spread to his tiger claws. Puff. The power washed over. The tiger claws of the Demon Tiger King exploded directly, and the shield was thrown out. The 10,000 Bones Demon King transformed by Sudang rushed over directly. How could this happen? I can't even block the sword of 10,000 bones? The Demon Tiger King had forgotten about death at this moment, and was more unbelievable. The 10,000 Bones Demon King, whom it had never taken seriously, was seriously injured by a single blow in a head-on confrontation. Swish. Sudang arrived in front of the Demon Tiger King. With a wave of his bone arm, it fell to the human world in an instant like a crescent moon. It fell on the chest of the Demon Tiger King. The Demon Tiger King felt bitter in his heart, humiliation, unwillingness, but at this moment, he was more eager to survive. He quickly waved another tiger claw to resist, and at the same time roared for help. "Commander, save me, save me." Its voice resounded throughout the space. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. The commander is not here, and I can't save you. Sudang sneered, and the 10,000 Bones Demon King he transformed into was extremely arrogant. The bone knife cut along the tiger claws of the Demon Tiger Demon King, and the heavy power immediately superimposed and penetrated into the latter's body. But the Demon Tiger Demon King cultivated a demon body. As the saying goes, a wolf head and a tiger bone. The root bones of tiger demons are the toughest. Sudong plunged his knife into it, and it was stuck. Such a hard bone. Sudong was surprised. Boom. An extremely terrifying sword shadow instantly penetrated the space and shot out. Sudong's bone arm had just been retracted, and before Sudong swung the second knife, the sword shadow had already arrived. Sudong swung his knife to block it, and the knife light was white. The sword shadow came in an instant, and the next moment, the terrible power suppressed in the sword shadow. It burst out like a volcanic eruption. Suddenly, the world shook, and the vast power of the demon power covered the sky and the sun. The terrible demon power directly blasted towards the 10,000 Bones Demon King. So strong. Sudong was also in a trance for a moment. He did not dare to be arrogant. The power of the earth and the 9 parts of the power in his body were mobilized at the same time and rushed out through the purple cube. A terrible power also burst out from the body of the 10,000 Bones Demon King and slammed hard on the sword shadow. Many monsters around the deep pit, especially the 3 heavenly demons, were horrified and desperate at the white bone figure, especially the demon tiger demon king, whose eyes were about to bulge out. White bones can actually compete with the commander? Boom. The vast power roared out like a 1,000-foot wave. In the collision of that power, the surrounding formations were stimulated and burst into various colors of light. The air was also burning crazily. The 2 powers collided, and in this collision, the 2 powers were constantly consumed and eroded. The earth began to crack. The sword shadow roared down like a blood-colored meteor. But no matter how terrifying the sword shadow was, it could not break through the blockade of the white bone knife. But at this moment Sudong also understood. Some frowned as they looked at the red-dressed demon. How could this be a celestial demon? She is a world demon, withered wood. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 338. I'm the Lord of the Void Palace. The world monster Deadwood, the strongest in the Demon Refining Lake, is unique in the Demon Refining Lake, and is an absolute emperor-like overlord. It is rumored that the world monster Deadwood is an ancient tree in the Demon Refining Lake that has been cultivated into a monster. After reaching the world level, it has been rooted in the Demon Refining Lake, and rarely appears outside. Whenever it appears, it is its incarnation. The ancient tree became a world monster, and the monster body is famous for its tyranny. The lifespan is unique and long, but there are gains and losses. Because the body is a tree, the world monster Deadwood is not good at speed. There is a saying that people move and live, but trees move and die. Even if it reaches a world level, Deadwood dare not move its body casually, so the world monster Deadwood moves outside. It is its controlled clone, but the clone is naturally not as good as the body. So Deadwood took over the bodies of extremely talented innate creatures as its body. Sudong was originally wondering where this extra demon came from. This innate creature female demon is obviously the incarnation of the world monster Deadwood. You are not Wangu, who are you? The sword shadows that burst out like a meteor shower violently bombarded Sudong. The red-clothed female demon stared at Wangu Demon King in front of her with sharp teeth and a ferocious face like a red cloud. The sword technique used to block her sword shadow was too exquisite. Even if she had a higher imagination, she would not dare to think that it was Wangu Demon King. Wangu Demon King was someone she watched practice step by step to become a heavenly demon. She knew his strength very well. If he mastered this kind of sword technique, could he compete with her? Haha, I'm the Lord of the Void Palace you want to capture. Sudong laughed. Boom. A colorful light flashed on his body, and he turned into a human figure wearing a dark red battlesuit and holding a golden flame longsword. Is it him, the immortal level Lord of the Void Palace? The demon tiger demon king and other heavenly demons were all stunned. Lord of the Void Palace? The red-clothed female demon's face twitched suddenly. Wangu Demon King. I killed him a long time ago. Sudong's face was cold. The red-clothed female demon's eyes were like ice, and her face was even more ferocious and twisted. She roared, Lord of the Void Palace, you dared to kill my subordinates in my territory. You are just a fairy level, and you dare to be so arrogant? Haha. World Demon Kumu, you are just a clone of an innate creature, a heavenly demon. Why would I be afraid of you? Sudong's eyes were sharp and cold behind his dark red battlesuit, full of fighting spirit. The red-clothed female demon was stunned. A fairy level. You don't take the heavenly level seriously at all? But then she understood. Yes, you are extraordinary. A fairy level can easily kill a heavenly level, but you dare to provoke me. After being stunned, she was furious. I will let you understand that, even if it is just a clone of my innate creature, you are not comparable. Boom. The sword shadow whistled coldly, but Sudong felt that the blood in his body was boiling hot, and he was extremely excited, because the red-clothed female demon in front of him was the clone of the world demon Kumu. In terms of strength, it is definitely the top level among the top 9 heavenly gods. In addition, it is also the clone of the innate creature. The 7th heaven of the immortal level challenges the top of the heavenly gods, close to the realm level monster. It represents a whole leap in the middle. How crazy. Even the top geniuses of the 9 realms hold dare not, because the realm power is too different. The realm power alone is dozens of times different, not to mention that when you reach the realm level, you will have a brand new understanding of the techniques and heavenly ways. Even an ordinary sword can burst out with terrible power. The geniuses of the 9 realms hold dare not. But Sudong dares. The innate 5-colored stone life awakening talent secret method of the earth power, plus the purple cube impact method amplification, and such a long time of cultivation of heaven and earth treasures and gem resources. The power that Sudong now possesses is by no means inferior to any heavenly life, and there are many ways to save his life. Sudong has enough confidence. Boundary Demon Kumu, a heaven-level innate creature clone. Sudong blocked a sword shadow and quickly retreated, but a hazy 5-color light appeared around him. The 5-color light appeared in a field shape, instantly covering the surrounding area of 100 feet. His eyes were even more fanatical. The same was true of the Boundary Demon Kumu. The immortal level innate creature Void Palace Master. The immortal level is so strong. If I can use this body, maybe I can break the shackles and break through to the boundary level. The red-clothed female demon Kumu's eyes also showed enthusiasm. The clone's main body is at the 2 realm levels. How powerful. The 2 figures suddenly became quiet. The 5-color light covered the surroundings, but it could not spread to cover the red-clothed female demon. The rest of the demon beasts avoided and fled. Within a few hundred feet, only 2 figures were left facing each other from a distance. Rumble. A terrifying tremor instantly broke the silence. The sky and the earth changed color, and a female demon with wood in red clothes rose into the air, her long hair flying, and her body burst into dazzling bloodlight, which instantly condensed into clones. Bloodlight burst out from the eyes of each clone. In the blink of an eye, the entire space of hundreds of meters was filled with the female demon with wood clones. Each clone was extremely real, and terrifying power burst out from its clones. The blood-colored power was floating, and the surrounding ground, including the ground and earth mounds around Sudong, trembled and shattered. Countless pieces of rubble floated in the air because of the strong power. But the 5-color light enveloped the strong gravity and suppressed many pieces of rubble within 100 feet. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. Die. Thousands of female demon withered wood clones shouted at the same time. It was like the howling of a strong wind. Thousands of clones of the Banshee penetrated the air at the same time, more terrifying and faster than tens of millions of arrows breaking through the air, thousands of times more fierce, all covering Sudong, trying to swallow and drown him in an instant. The body of the Banshee withered wood is a congenital creature, and the clone is the innate secret method. The innate secret method clones thousands of clones, each of which is the real body, but each has only 1/10 of the power of the original body, but the clones are thousands of times. That is also the top secret method, that can increase the power 100 times. The power of so many clones gathers together, and launches the most violent attack at the same time. The power can be imagined. It is to suppress people with force. My realm power alone can make you go all out, and the power of the innate secret method will increase 100 times. What can you use to fight me? The 1,000 clones of the Banshee withered wood laughed. Boom, boom, boom. The 1,000 clones bombarded a target at the same time, causing the surrounding ground to collapse and crack, except for the temple pit, where the blood-colored altar was located. Countless plants and trees fell down. The powerful shock waves generated by each attack collided with each other, and the entire demon refining lake seemed to shake in an instant. The center was a scene of destruction. Hide away quickly, the commander will not take us into consideration in the battle. I can't let it happen to me. Seeing that the situation was not good, all the heavenly demons hid far away. During this time, many heavenly demons also rushed over. 10 heavenly demons gathered and watched from afar. They were also waiting. This Void Palace Master is so arrogant that he dares to challenge the commander. The commander's body is coming. The movement speed of the world demon Kumu's body was too slow, not as fast as these heavenly demons. In addition, it took some time for the commander to arrive in the deeper part of the demon refining lake. In fact, they felt that, even if the commander's body did not come, it would be enough to kill this immortal level Void Palace Master. At this time, thousands of female demon clones also entered the range of Sudang's 5-color light. The power of the earth was transformed and burst through the purple cube, and the terrible gravity exploded instantly. In the blink of an eye, thousands of female demons were trapped in this colorful space. Boom. Thousands of figures suddenly collided with each other. Upward, downward, left and right, the amazing gravity changed at will. What? The female demons were affected by this gravity, and their bodies were stunned, and began to collide with each other out of their control. Chapter 339 Massacre. Is this his innate secret method? How can it change gravity so strongly? The Banshee Withered Wood was shocked. The most powerful and perfect trick of an innate creature is the innate secret method. If the innate secret method cannot defeat it, then it will be defeated. The innate secret method of this body of the Banshee Withered Wood is the clone. With thousands of clones, it is always successful. But this time it happened to meet Sudang. Sudang's power of the earth is a large-scale field method, and he is least afraid of group attacks. The colorful space was a hazy 5-color divine light, and only the floating divine power was reflected in all directions. Sudang's figure stood in the center, urging the power of the earth to make thousands of Banshee Withered Wood collide with each other. If this Banshee Withered Wood didn't use the clone, my power of the earth would not have much effect on her, but she used the clone, so it's not my fault. Sudang couldn't help but smile behind his dark red battlesuit. Without thousands of clones, its own power is the top power of the heavenly level. The influence of Sudang's power of the earth only affects the speed. But there are thousands of clones, and each of them only has 1/10 of the power, which is only slightly stronger than the demon pattern Tiger King. Once they enter the range of the power of the earth, they will be at Sudang's mercy. In an instant, thousands of banshees collided with each other, and hundreds of their bodies exploded, while others tried to dodge and dodge. Banshee Deadwood also immediately dispersed her innate secret clones. Banshee Deadwood stood there in the air, her face very pale. It's really scary that the innate secret is so strong, Banshee Deadwood said coldly, but while she was speaking, the white bone sword in her hand was swung out fiercely, aiming directly at Sudang. Still want to be arrogant? Sudang snorted coldly. Swish. He rushed forward instantly. The speed was amazingly fast, several times faster than the previous transformation into the 10,000 Bones Demon King. As a congenital creature of the 5-colored stone, he is the core in the space of the power of the earth he exerted. Others slowed down, but he accelerated. The speed of this charge was so fast that even the Banshee Withered Wood was shocked. Although she knew that this 5-color light field was Sudang's innate secret method and was mentally prepared, she was still shocked. This speed. After all, she was just a heavenly demon level clone. No matter how strong she was still a heavenly demon. She couldn't use the methods of the world god level in a head-on fight. Swish. A golden knife light lit up and easily defeated her sword light. At the same time, the knife light spread over. The Banshee Withered Wood appeared in black armor, but the armor had gaps. Puff. The unstoppable golden knife light directly sank into the gap of her armor neck. The terrifying knife light was like cutting a piece of tofu, easily cutting the Banshee Withered Wood's neck. I actually lost. My innate living being heaven level clone actually lost. What realm is his knife skills, power, and talent? The Banshee Withered Wood was completely shocked. Not to mention the refining demon lake, even the entire 9 realms, the ancient 9 realms, that ruled countless worlds. How many such perverts are there? He is only a god level. Puff. A brilliant sword light lit up. It was so dazzling that people dared not look directly at it and could not open their eyes. At the same time as the golden sword light lit up, a huge figure that was speeding up from the depths of the demon refining lake was shocked. Dead. My incarnation is dead. The body of a world level bloodline innate creature. Just gone like that. The real world monster withered wood was shocked and rushed over even faster. He had to rush over as soon as possible. It would be best to leave this god level innate creature as his compensation. If he couldn't be captured alive, he had to be killed. He is the master of the Void Palace. He is so talented. His Taoism and swordsmanship are all ridiculously strong. He will definitely be valued by the Void God Court, and his knowledge must be extraordinary. The world monster withered wood was anxious. It was not afraid of Sudang's other things, but it was afraid that Sudang would have knowledge and recognize that temple. I was born as an ancient tree. Although it has advantages, it is also a shackle. The advantage is that my divine body is strong enough, and my power is strong enough. There are few rivals in the same level. Therefore, I'm valued by the tribal leaders. They give me the opportunity of Taoism and let me guard this forest. But the world monster withered wood tried to speed up. But my divine body advantage is also a disadvantage. My divine body is strong and powerful, but the movement speed is too slow. In addition, my body is a tree. The best state of cultivation is to take root in one place. Different innate creatures have different cultivation methods. For example, the world monster withered wood must take root in one place, and the longer the time, the better. Sudang's 5-colored stone absorbs as many gems from heaven and earth as possible. The temple is my greatest opportunity. It contains infinite possibilities. It may be a great fortune in the Buddhist world. I must get it. The eternal Buddhist world is one of the 3 top forces in the void. Anyone who has a little connection with such a force will have infinite fortune, not to mention a temple that is left by the Buddha. The Buddhist world is relatively tolerant of the demon race, because there are several great Buddhas in the Buddhist world who are even transformed from demon beasts. They believe that all beings are equal, and there is almost no danger in the temple. This is his fortune. A fortune that is within his reach. Puff. The brilliant knife light carried an endless sharp aura, and a layer of 5-colored flowing light formed around it, mixed with a puff of blood mist, and the body of the female demon withered wood was split into 2. Dead. The commander's clone died. Although separated by the 5-colored space, the demons outside could still see it clearly. The commander, who was like a god in their eyes, was defeated just like that. Why panic? It's just the commander's clone who died. When the commander comes, he can easily kill him. The heavenly demon blood cat growled. But at this moment, it suddenly felt cold. Turning its head, it suddenly saw that all the blood-colored hair on its body burst and stood up. However, Sudang's figure, who was originally in the colorful space, became strange and blurred like a ghost, forming a vague phantom between heaven and earth, and the phantom flashed in front of them. This book has been updated recently in Update. Then the 5-colored light flashed, and the field of the power of the earth of 100 feet easily enveloped the 10 heavenly demons. Attacking us? Such a strong man attacked us? Your opponent should be the commander. The 10 heavenly demons were all panicked and stunned for a moment. Humph, you are a disaster to the human race, and you will deserve to die. To tell you the truth, I came here this time just to take your lives. Sudang snorted coldly. The voice resounded in the ears of the demons. To kill us? The 10 heavenly demons were all stunned. Such a strong man came just to kill them? When did we provoke the Lord of the Void Palace? Without giving them a chance to explain, Sudang's figure appeared in front of the 10 heavenly demons almost like teleportation. Under the restraint of the power of the earth, they could not move. At the same time, a knife with a sharp and fierce aura slashed directly at them. I don't want to die. I will die like this? In an instant, the knife flashed, unable to resist, and the 10 great demons of Lion Yaoze died instantly. Before dying, their eyes were still full of unwillingness, humiliation, too unwilling. They actually died like this. So far, all the 12 great demons of Lion Yaoze have died. Sudang turned around and rushed towards the deep pit, where the temple was. Swish! With a wave of his hand, a huge black temple appeared in the air. Rumble! The void temple burst out with a strong suction force, and the suction force surged down, directly sucking up the entire deep pit, except for the blood-colored altar, and directly sucking up the entire 1,000-meter deep ground, where the deep pit was located. Then, the dust slid down, revealing a golden temple that was only the size of an ordinary house. The temple had 9 temple doors, and at this moment, 8 temple doors had been corroded, leaving only the last one. It was directly swallowed up by the void temple. The moment it was sucked in, a vast and terrifying aura of power also spread to the rear. Chapter 340 Teleportation. The temple was rumbled and sucked into the dark void temple at this moment. Sudong stood in front of the void temple. Boundary demon dead tree. Sudong's eyes were cold, and he turned his head to look at the huge figure rushing from the depths of the demon refining lake. Looking at this huge figure from afar, his eyes were burning with the flame of fighting spirit. Wow. The colorful light spread out. It spread and covered the surrounding hundreds of feet. Just as it spread out, a more powerful realm-level divine power field suddenly crushed over. The vast realm-level divine power directly twisted the surrounding hundreds of feet of heaven and earth, and the world turned upside down. The scenery suddenly changed. It was the devastating scene of the collapse of the mountains and cracks in the demon refining lake before. But in a blink of an eye, it turned into a forest of trees, endless and vast ancient trees and dead vines intertwined with each other, and the dead vines were covered with dense thorns on the trunks and branches. Sudong suddenly felt a terrible oppression. His entire earth power field seemed to have turned into a small boat in the vast ocean, which could be overturned and swallowed by the strong wind and huge waves at any time. Is this the realm of divine power? A realm of its own. Breaking through the realm is a qualitative change. The biggest change is to possess a realm of divine power. Under the realm of divine power, the gods and immortals of the realm are invincible. In front of the absolute realm of the realm, the immortal level Sudong was indeed completely passive. In the darkness, a huge figure stretched out. It was a huge ancient tree nearly 1,000 meters high. The bark of the ancient tree was cracked, and the trunk was covered with blood. The blood-colored trunk exuded terrifying power. At the top of the trunk, 2 terrifying eyes were revealed between the bark. The dead tree of the realm monster, the only realm monster in the refining demon lake, was also the absolute overlord. He looked at Sudong with cold eyes, looking at the folded temple. Die. The whole world covered with branches and vines expanded, covering Sudong's void temple mercilessly, covering Sudong. Trapped in his realm, even the master of the void palace could not escape. Lord of the void palace, if you kill my celestial demon and leave, I can't do anything to you with your speed, but you are greedy, and want to take my temple away. The eyes of the world demon withered wood were full of coldness and cruelty. You will die, because of your greed. Other world level domains may not be able to stop you, but my world level domain is best at imprisonment and restraint. Once you fall into my world level domain, you can't get out. The world demon withered wood was full of confidence. Extremely excited. He captured Sudong alive, and captured the Lord of the Void Palace alive. This was his biggest gain. It didn't care about the 12 great celestial demons under its command. It was worth it to capture the Lord of the Void Palace alive. These trees. Sudong used the power of the earth to shrink continuously, shrinking to only cover a few feet around, and the 5-colored light blocked the branches and vines from invading. Kill. Sudong swung the long sword in his hand. Swish. The sword light broke through the air. He chopped directly at the dense branches and vines of the trees in front of him. He could only hear a muffled sound. The sound was very difficult. The blade only cut off the inconspicuous vines at the roots of the trees and then disappeared. It's really powerful. In the realm god is the master. Sudong's face changed slightly. Below the realm level, everyone is an ant. What's more, the realm monster he faced was a innate creature like the deadwood with a huge body and vast power. Even if his divine power and spiritual power were exhausted, he might not be able to break these vines. But this time is enough for the realm monster deadwood to cook himself. You're dead. The realm monster deadwood looked at Sudong with cold eyes. The soul power surged towards Sudong. He wanted to kill Sudong with his soul and take over Sudong's colorful stone body. The surging soul power surged into Sudong's sea of consciousness. Boom, boom. 2 violent and vast soul powers penetrated Sudong's sea of consciousness. The soul power was dark green and condensed directly into two extremely clear huge dark green dragons. The two dark green dragons bared their teeth and claws, roared and rolled and raged in Sudang's sea of consciousness. The claws, horns, and fangs of the two dragons were extremely clear. Die, Lord of the Void Palace, your body is mine, and the Void Temple is also mine. The world monster Kumu was completely crazy. Roar. The soul power of the two giant dragons swept through Sudang's sea of consciousness. The real giant dragons roared and circled, the dragon tail whipped, the dragon claws swung, and the dragon head rushed. Suddenly, Sudang's entire sea of consciousness was stirred up by turbulent waves. Sudang's core data will consciousness was not afraid, but his sea of consciousness still felt extremely uncomfortable, and he felt nauseous and dizzy. If it were an ordinary life, I'm afraid he would have fainted long ago. But Sudang still remained awake. It was just uncomfortable. You're fine after receiving 2 soul attacks from me? The world demon Kumu was shocked. Sudang was also shocked. This is the world level. The terrible world level. You're just too reckless. You dare to provoke the world level at the immortal level. No one in the void is as crazy as you. Feng Lao Rungs. He also transmitted his voice telepathically. Although he said so, he was not worried at all. It's just an experience. The world level is indeed not something I can afford to provoke now. The domain is so strong. TSK. Sudang shook his head, not panicked at all. Swish, the void temple behind him suddenly disappeared and turned into a triangular metal ring on Sudang's finger. Put away the void temple. The world demon Kumu narrowed his eyes slightly. The void temple master's means of escaping were strong, or relying on the void temple. He actually put away the void temple. Did he give up? Then Sudang raised his head, and the soul attack in his sea of consciousness finally dissipated. Although his face was ugly, his core data will was not affected at all, and his eyes were clear. This book was recently updated in Update. I won't play with you anymore. Sudang closed his eyes immediately after his voice fell. With a slight perception, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. The key in the distant Xiangquan clan was clearly sensed. He gently urged it. A faint golden light appeared on the distant key number 1. Key number 1, teleport. Die. The world monster Kumu roared, and another terrifying soul attack swept down. He must kill Sudang with his soul. No matter how much time and energy it takes, he must kill him with his soul. But this time the soul attack was fired. Boom. The power of the soul attack was terrible, but Sudang smiled as he watched this terrible attack coming. Let's go. Sudang chuckled when the terrible attack came. Swish. Sudang felt his body wrapped in a strange space force. In the past, when he activated the number 1 key, he was very weak, and he couldn't feel this space force clearly, but now he could clearly feel the magical power of this space force. This force instantly wrapped Sudang's body, and left this world in an instant, quickly shuttling through space and leaving. The boundless monster with red eyes launched a crazy soul attack on Sudang. Boom. The terrifying soul attack burst out, but hit nothing. Soul attack is different from material attack. There is no living target, and there is no sign of soul attack at all. Kai. The huge boundless tree world is growing wildly, but the boundless monster with red eyes that can control the boundless domain is standing there with its huge body. It disappeared. Teleport? Is it the Void Escape Talisman? The Void Escape Talisman, a legendary Taoist talisman, can move thousands of miles in an instant. Only the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor can refine it. A god-level Void Palace Master has the Void Escape Talisman? The boundless monster with red eyes was frightened. This Void Palace Master must be a core member of the Void Divine Court. It was frightened instantly. Chapter 341, Temple Relics. It actually attempted to seize the body of a core Void Palace Master of the Void God Court. Fortunately, it didn't succeed. If it succeeded, with the means of the Void God Court, a top force in the Void, the world monster Kumu has a big force to rely on, so he knows the many powerful forces in the Void very well. Among the 3 top forces in the Void, Huangquan Daofu is the most terrifying, but the one that you can't mess with the most is the Void God Court. The members of the Void God Court are all over the Void, and there are Void Palace Masters everywhere. If you mess with the void god court, there is no place to hide. If it is found that he has seized the body of a core member of the void god court, he will die without a burial place. In the void, seizing the body is very taboo. Some innate creatures without big forces and backgrounds to rely on are fine, but the core members of such a big force can be killed. But seizing the body is a big taboo. I can't seize his body either. It's really a luxury for a god level to use the void escape talisman. The world monster Kimu also sighed. Only the core members can get such treasures to protect their bodies when they come out for training. The void escape talisman is something that even the god king level powerhouses in the void would fight for. How could they just give it to the immortal level at will? This is the 3 top forces in the void that are rich and powerful. They are not stingy in cultivating geniuses. Of course, he has only heard about the tip of the iceberg about how extravagant it is. After all, it has no chance to enter the core level of such forces. I really lost a lot this time. A heavy rain fell from the sky. The world monster withered tree stood there, letting the heavy rain pour on its trunk, moistening it. But it felt sad in its heart. It's not a pity that the celestial monster under my command died. I can cultivate it again. What's a pity is my innate creature clone. That was given to me by the tribe. It can only be given once, but not a second time. It's hard to find another innate creature body like that. And the Buddha temple, damn the Void Palace master. How did you know that the Buddha temple is in my place? With such strong concealment and transformation, could it be that he has already transformed into the 10,000 bones demon king and is waiting for the opportunity? He will only appear when there is only the last layer of the 9 layers gate left. The world demon withered wood hated it. It carefully hid, worked hard for a long time, invested huge energy and material resources, and was about to get the temple treasures, but in the end, it made wedding clothes for Sudang. He hated it so much, but there was nothing he could do. He suspected that the Void God Court had received the information and deliberately set up a trap. Of course, Sudang did not appear by chance, but planned for a long time. If it knew that everything was a coincidence, it would be really angry to death. Now it is thinking about how to make up for its losses. Late in the winter night, in Su Garden, in Sudang's room, a golden light flashed, and Sudang's figure appeared in the room. With a wave of his hand, he took the number 1 key into his palm. There was a satisfied smile on his face. He sat at the table and gently poured himself a cup of tea. The world monster withered wood is really scary. This kind of monster is not something I can contend with now. Although he gained a lot, killing the 12 great demons in lion arrows has achieved the purpose of this trip. But the world monster withered wood's tricks also made Sudang sober up a lot. His strength and many skills that he was proud of were so ridiculous when facing the world level. He didn't even have a chance to resist. The world monster withered wood attacked me twice with his soul. It was obvious that he wanted to kill me with his soul and take over my 5-colored stone body. If it launched a physical attack, I'm afraid I can only hide in the Void Temple. The world monster withered wood is famous for its powerful divine body, powerful divine power, and material attack that is the best of everything. I'm still far away. Sudang sighed. Fenglao Rangsi was speechless. She thought Sudang was already very powerful. Apart from anything else, there were few geniuses in the world of Fenglao in her ancient country who could compare with him. Of course, in her heart, Sudang's many encounters were also magical. His cultivation path made rapid progress, which made her feel surprised. Plus the special life form of Sudang at this moment. In Fenglao Rangsi's heart, Sudang's future is absolutely limitless. But since Sudang has always been humble, she has nothing to say. It is a good thing that he can always maintain an enterprising spirit, so she naturally doesn't comfort Sudang much. This time I just wanted to kill a few heavenly demons to shock the refining demon lake, but I didn't expect that by chance. I actually got a Buddha temple. This is a real treasure. Sudang flipped his hand, and a miniature model-sized void temple appeared directly in the room. The temple was suspended in the room, and Sudang turned into a stream of light and flowing quickly. The space in the void temple is still huge. There is a temple the size of an ordinary house in the huge palace. Haha, the world demon Kimu lost the temple treasure, and he must be anxious now. Sudang couldn't help laughing. He could imagine the angry and desperate look of the world demon Kimu. Temple treasure. Sudang, wearing a dark red battlesuit and turning into a dark red robe, looked at the temple in the center of the temple. The demon with a tree in that world has been practicing for a long time. I'm afraid that all the treasures on his body combined are not as good as this temple. Sudang thought to himself, the Buddha temple is all the wealth left by the real powerful Buddha in the void. The Buddha in the Buddhist world believes in chance and destiny, so they have many branches of inheritance. Many powerful people who have risen in the void also say that they have received inheritance from the Buddhist world. There are even many forces that regard themselves as branches of the Buddhist world. In fact, they just had some opportunities. But it seems that it is not easy to open the relics of this temple. The demon with a tree has been corroding the altar with blood for a long time, and he can't force it open. It's even more difficult for me. Feng Lao, do you have any way? This book has been updated recently in @ update. No, Feng Lao ancient country has heard that a strong man has obtained the relics of the temple, but that was a powerful god king. Feng Lao wrongs he telepathically transmitted. I don't have any relatives or friends at the god king level. How can I open it? Sudang shrugged. Let's give it a try. There's only one door left. Maybe there's a chance. Sudang walked forward. He estimated that even a god king would have difficulty opening the temple. Let's give it a try. Sudang walked to the temple. The ancient temple exuded a peaceful atmosphere that made people feel calm. This atmosphere rippled on Sudang, making his heart calm a lot. The golden lotus carved in the front of the temple was still emitting golden light and swaying quietly. Sudang took a deep breath. He put his palm directly on the last door of the temple. Push slowly. Buzz. The golden lotus on the temple suddenly bloomed with a bright and dazzling light, and the light directly enveloped Sudang. Sudang immediately felt that there was no danger in this golden light. He thought that it might be the temple's defense formation to protect the temple intact. I will use all my power. With the purple cube amplification, there may be a chance to push it. Sudang planned and looked forward to it in his heart. There was really no way. The temple's treasures would have to wait until later. Some opportunities are not so easy to get. In fact, it is not as difficult to open the temple treasure as Sudang imagined. The temple treasure was passed down from the Buddha in the Buddhist world. The Buddhist world pays attention to good and evil merits. Like the monster Deadwood, it has committed heinous sins and naturally cannot be recognized by the temple. But Sudang is different. The light of the golden lotus shone on Sudang, and he immediately felt the golden light of merit on Sudang. Dazzling golden light of merit. From the accumulation of the small world in the Jin Dynasty to the rich golden light of merit now, it was instantly sensed by the temple. Buzz. Amitabha, the donor has infinite merits and can get good results. Suddenly, a voice that makes people feel extremely gentle and comfortable sounded, and Sudang was still surprised. Click. The last door of the temple, that was originally tightly closed, was automatically pushed open by Sudang. Haha. Sudang, who was still nervously expecting, suddenly smiled. He walked in immediately. End of this volume. Another volume is finished. Please give me a recommendation vote. It's a bit pitiful. Chapter 342 3 Caves. The decoration inside the temple was extremely simple. The only decoration on the high wall in front was a Buddha statue hanging high up. Is that Buddha? Sudang looked carefully. The Buddha statue in the picture was wearing a white cassock, which fluttered in the wind, full of natural rhythm. His face was smiling, and there was a golden light condensed into a ring behind his head. This made Sudang worship more than any other Buddha he had ever seen. Almost instantly, Sudang's colorful stone sea of consciousness seemed to be impacted, and waves rose in his sea of consciousness. It was as if the Buddha in the statue had walked into the depths of his sea of consciousness, rippling with endless Buddha light. Feng Lao Rangsi discovered Sudang's changes. Seeing the latter's body emitting rich golden light, he was a little surprised. I didn't expect Sudang's merits to be so high that he became a Buddha of merit. There is a legend about the Buddhist world in the void. It is said that there are 36,000 Buddhas in the Buddhist world. Among them, there is a kind of faith Buddha, which is the Buddha of merit. As long as the merits are deep enough, they will become a Buddha of merit after receiving baptism from a monk. The light of the Buddha of merit can also be regarded as a power. Sudang's merits are too great. He was blessed with golden light of merit in the Jin Dynasty. Later, he gave up himself to kill the void god of the Stone Ghost clan and saved countless lives in the world. His merits are immeasurable. Naturally, once he accepted the baptism of Buddhism, he condensed into a power. Sudan felt that his sea of consciousness was instantly much clearer. In the sea of consciousness, or 3-foot-tall golden man gradually condensed. The man radiated golden light all over his body. He looked like a smaller version of himself, sitting barefoot in the center of the sea of consciousness. My 5-colored stone body and soul became a Buddha of merit? Sudan was surprised. The core data will consciousness swept over this small figure. The golden light was so strong that people could not look directly at it. A great sense of achievement was born in the mind. Great merit is a great achievement. When the soul achieves the Buddha form, the spiritual understanding will increase several times. At this moment, Sudan felt that his perception and understanding of Taoism had entered a new world. Through the Buddha-shaped soul, there was even a faint feeling that he could glimpse the future, and his perception of heaven and earth was improved by several realms. Sudan opened his eyes. There were 3 heaven and earth caves in front of the Buddha statue, namely the Pavilion Cave, the Palace Cave, and the Gravel Cave. The 3 caves were only the size of a palm. Sudan's divine power swept through and easily found that the 3 caves were ownerless. Let's take a look at the first one. Sudan picked up the first Pavilion Cave, and the huge core data will penetrated directly into it. The space in this Pavilion Cave is not large, but it is extremely exquisite, with pavilions, towers, small bridges and flowing water. The pavilion is not large, but there is a field in front of the pavilion. Planted in the fields are all kinds of heaven and earth treasures, which are precious and rare. In Chiangpan City, Sudan can't even buy seeds of heaven and earth treasures that take tens of thousands of years to mature. One by one, the mature and immature heaven and earth treasures form a fertile spiritual field. Countless precious liquids gather into rivers and flow under the bridge. Countless gems and metals are piled up on the side to form a rockery. The rockery emits colorful light like a rainbow. A large number of gems. Sudan can feel the desire and call of the colorful stone body for several of the gems. Spiritual fields, spiritual rivers, and spiritual treasures gather into a mountain. No, that pavilion is built with heaven and earth crystals? This. Sudan was completely stunned. To Rich. The image was transmitted to Feng Lao Rongzi through his mind. Sudan, you are rich. Feng Lao Rongzi couldn't help but admire. Even with her knowledge, she couldn't help but be moved at this moment. The temple relics are, after all, the Buddha's legacy, and even the powerful god kings will fight for the top treasures. This Buddha, even in the powerful Buddhist world, is one of the strongest ones. Feng Lao Rongzi transmitted his voice in his heart. Sudan was completely shocked. In fact, there are too many historical records about the temple's treasures that describe them as extremely rich, which is why many strong people covet them. After all, this is all the wealth accumulated by a powerful Buddha in his life. And now he has only seen one of the 3 heaven and earth caves. Only 1/3. Calm down, I'll see what the other 2 caves have. Sudan left the cave, and of course he did not forget to imprint his soul mark in the cave. The cave that was originally ownerless easily recognized the owner. Sudan infiltrated the second cave to check. As soon as the core data will penetrated in, a golden light spread over, and a huge and majestic palace appeared in front of him. This palace is magnificent and majestic, not inferior to the Void Temple. The huge palace walls are engraved with many wonderful Buddhist records, and on the long table in the front, there is a slowly swaying golden lotus. That is. Sudan blinked, his whole body boiling involuntarily. Now he really understood why the world monster Kumu found the temple treasure and even dared not to disclose it to the monster clan. He also understood why it was said that once the temple treasure appeared in the void, it would have a great impact and even attract the god king level strongmen to fight for it. It was because they had to fight for it. In a corner of the front wall of this palace cave, there were rows of densely packed small characters. The text is a universal text in the void. Looking at it, each font naturally contains a kind of calm and peaceful fluctuation. Lucky little guy, this divine decade Buddha seal is the power mark of my lifelong Buddhist Dharma. The Buddha seal itself is a divine emperor level power mark, but you can only stimulate 10% of its power at the divine immortal level, 20% at the heavenly god level, 40% at the realm level, and 70% at the divine king level. Only when you reach the divine emperor level can you completely stimulate its full power. This is the most important accumulation of my life. It contains my understanding and experience of Buddhism. I hope you will experience it carefully. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. The most important thing about this second palace cave is the power of the divine emperor level mark. It can be used all the way to the divine emperor level, and it can be used from the divine immortal level. You can imagine how rare and precious this power mark is. In addition to this power mark, this palace is also a top-notch palace type magic weapon. It's great. Sudong directly recognized the magic weapon palace as the master. He did not directly merge the divine decayed Buddha seal. After all, it is a mark of divine emperor level power, and fusion also requires a process and time. He began to explore the last gravel cave. This time he directly recognized the gravel cave as his master, and then his body sank into it. The gravel cave was not the first time he had seen it. He had also seen the Jiuhua Mountain Heaven and Earth Immortal Mansion of the Jiuhua Mountain Saint Zmo. The gravel cave was also very popular in the void, easy to hide, and suitable for hiding. The body appeared in the gravel cave. There was a vast sea of blood in the cave. Sudong was stunned when he looked at the sea of blood in front of him. His expression changed slightly. Is this a real sea of blood? He was a little stunned. The bloody aura in the gravel cave made him a little confused. At this time, a gentle voice directly resounded through the gravel cave. Later generations, according to ancient legends, the Buddha was born from a sea of blood. This sea of blood is the Buddha nature sea of blood that gave birth to the Buddha. As long as a large amount of treasures from heaven and earth and the will of the soul are invested in it to nourish it, the life of flesh and blood can be prolonged, and a Buddha level physical body, Tush physical body, can be born. I hope you cherish it. What kind of void reincarnation talisman is good at Isuanquandeofu? In my Buddhist world, of course we have our own way to be reborn. His voice was gentle, but there was a sense of pride in it. Chapter 343 Tiyoshi's flesh body. There are 3 caves in the temple. The pavilion cave has a large amount of treasures and wealth, which can allow any life to gain a foothold and rise in the void. The palace cave is itself a top palace type magic weapon. Among them, the more precious is the God Emperor level power mark, which can cause an uproar in the void. The gravel cave is even more extraordinary. If wealth and power marks are both to strengthen oneself, then this Buddha blood sea is a real opportunity to be reborn, and its preciousness is no less than the void reincarnation talisman. The preciousness is even higher than the void reincarnation talisman. Sudong floated above the Buddha blood sea, feeling the endless vitality contained in the blood sea. This is a blood sea that can breed a true Buddha level body. How precious. Buddha, the top powerhouse who shocked the Buddhist world and legend, is the belief of countless powerhouses in the void. The Buddha level body must be the top body. The Buddhist world has long studied the method of cultivating strong people. Unlike the Huanquandeofu, which is simple and direct, and directly uses the void reincarnation talisman to reincarnate innate creatures to improve their foundation, the Buddhist world breeds the flesh itself. In the cultivation tradition of the Buddhist world, the flesh is the most spiritual and the most perceptive. Although it is not as good as innate creatures in some aspects, its potential is the greatest. Just like Sudong's innate body of the 5-colored stone, he has inherited memories and innate secrets. He is blessed by nature and loved by heaven and earth, but this is before the realm level. Once he reaches the realm level, Sudong's progress will end. Bloodline is both an advantage and a shackle. Why is the first condition for the big forces to cultivate geniuses for innate creatures to be the God King bloodline? To reach the God King bloodline, if the performance is good enough, it is worth spending a huge price to help the bloodline break through, but the realm level bloodline is too weak. The price required to break through from the realm level to the God King level is almost the same as the price required to break through from the God King level to the God Emperor level. In this case, of course, the resources will be used first for the God King level. But innate creatures are indeed very abnormal at a certain stage. It is because they are too abnormal that they are envied by the heavens. Innate creatures are extremely rare, and they are also easily possessed by the strong. Just like the realm monster withered wood, its own divine body is powerful, but its shortcomings are too obvious. In order to make up for its own shortcomings, it even deliberately captures weak innate creatures to use as its own clones. The realm monster withered wood has basically reached the realm level. If it wants to break through again, it must either obtain huge resources and break through the shackles of blood, or possess the blood of the innate creatures of the God King level. As for ordinary life, innate creatures will not possess ordinary life, because they are born with inherited memories, and have innate secret methods. Their comprehension is actually pitifully low. Possessing ordinary life will probably not make any progress in strength until death. Sudang recently felt that his body of the 5-colored stone innate creature cultivated the 5-colored stone Daoism quickly and grew rapidly, but his understanding of the swordsmanship was pitifully low. Since his swordsmanship reached the power level, there was almost no progress. It was not that he did not work hard, but that the 5-colored stone body was really not talented in this aspect. What is talent? It is the flash of inspiration during the practice. Without that little inspiration, it is impossible to move forward. Of course, a life has only one body in theory. After using the void reincarnation talisman and becoming an innate creature, it is a bit of a waste to cultivate a flesh and blood body, but I'm different. I'm the core data will consciousness. Cultivating a flesh and blood body does not affect anything. Sudang smiled. Of course, cultivating a clone is not taking over a body. It requires a lot of resources and energy to grow. From weak to strong, this process may be very long. There are many strong people in the void who have clones, but this Taoist system is not advocated because the clone will distract and occupy the practice time. In the same time, the number of strong people born will be reduced. In the eyes of a true strong man, there is no difference between a weak person having one body and two bodies. Because through the connection of the souls of the two clones, the soul can be directly killed, and no matter how many bodies there are, they must die completely. Cultivating clones is not easy, so of course choosing a clone is very important. Sudang, your life form is special, and you can easily cultivate clones. But you have just been reincarnated in the void, and your innate 5-colored stone body has not yet reached its peak. Isn't it too early to cultivate a clone now? Generally, when a strong man cultivates a clone, he will wait until the main body has no more progress before choosing to cultivate a clone to distract himself. Feng Lao, I used to have a flesh and blood body, and you also have a flesh and blood body. To be honest, the potential of the flesh and blood body is the greatest. I have long imagined that I must restore my previous flesh and blood body if I have the opportunity. Sudang said. He was originally a human, although he was a mortal, but that was his original body. The body he is most familiar with. Since the opportunity is right in front of me, I don't want to wait any longer. Sudang looked at the sea of blood in front of him. Tuoshi's flesh body is his flesh and blood body. In fact, the more clones Sudang has, the stronger his ability to save his life will be, because his life itself is the core data will. So far, Sudang has not encountered anyone who can threaten his core data will. Moreover, if I have another clone, the mobile phone in my Dantian can be condensed again, and the space for the mobile phone will be larger. Sudang smiled. The Buddha level Tush body is destined to be more advanced than his 5-colored stone body. After all, the 5-colored stone body is just a congenital creature at the level of the master of the world. Sudang immediately began to cultivate. This book has been updated recently in Update. This Buddha left this Buddha blood without nurturing Tush's flesh, because his body was still on this flesh at that time. Sudang shook his head. Maybe that Buddha was devoted to pursuing a higher realm. The Buddha was not the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor. Once the deadline came, everything was empty. Naturally, the highest pursuit is still immortality. No matter how many clones there are, they are ultimately bubbles in front of the deadline of life. If you cross the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor to achieve a clone, it will be amazing. Above the vast sea of blood, a wisp of core data consciousness gradually separated from Sudang's eyebrows and entered the center of the sea of blood. Sniff. As if it were vaporized, Sudang's core data consciousness that had sunk into the sea of blood turned directly into a stream of information and sank into the sea of blood. Woo. The originally calm sea of blood suddenly began to surge and swirl around Sudong's stream of will data. The swelling amplitude became larger and larger, gradually forming a surging blood sea vortex, and the blood rushed there madly. It wrapped Sudong's core data will. Then it formed a blood cocoon the size of an egg. It started. The Tuosh body needs a lot of heaven and earth treasures. It just so happens that there are a lot of heaven and earth treasures in the first pavilion cave. Did that Buddha Senior deliberately leave them behind? Sudong thought. Maybe it was a little difficult for him to cultivate Tuosh's body before, but now that he has a lot of wealth and treasures, it's just a matter of time. The blood sea cultivates the body, and Sudong gets a lot of information from the data. The Tuosh body cultivated by the blood sea is also related to his own strength, merit, will consciousness, soul strength, and even many memories. Of course, no matter which aspect, the Tuosh body cultivated is a perfect flesh and blood body. It is also Sudong's second clone. Time passed quietly, and a month passed in a blink of an eye. Xiangqun clan, Shixin City. A flying boat flew in the sky. There were 6 figures standing on it, 3 men and 3 women, all of them handsome and extraordinary. Chapter 344. Don't underestimate. The 4 people on the flying boat were talking and laughing as they looked at the city below. This is the territory of the Xiangqun clan, a small clan, and the city is really pitifully small. A tall and beautiful young man had a trace of disdain in his eyes. Compared to Arbihei City, it is not a little bit worse. Poor mountains and bad waters can actually cultivate a powerful innate creature, and it has also attracted the attention of our Georgie Palace. Don't think too much, it's just a small assessment task. Kill Sudong and go back to report. A beautiful woman didn't care and smiled lightly. There was a condescending look in her smile. They are all extremely outstanding young masters of the Georgie Palace. In order to cultivate these young masters, the Georgie Palace will naturally arrange many assessment levels in addition to resource supply. Many treasures in the Georgie Palace need to pass these levels to obtain. It's a joke to ask us to fight with a god level being. It's fine to spar, but fighting, it's obvious that we, the 9 Realms Palace, want to kill this innate creature. This innate creature must have offended our 9 Realms Palace. The 9 Realms Palace monitors the world, and is the largest and most powerful force in the 9 Realms ancient country. It has countless strong people, and can easily deduce many things with many deduction methods and intelligence. Some lives that are not good for the 9 Realms Palace behind the scenes must be eradicated as soon as possible. How to eradicate them? Of course, they will not send top strong people directly, but as an assessment task for many 9 Realms Palaces to cultivate talents. This time it is the assessment task of the 4 of them. However, asking the 4 of them to kill a god level innate creature together feels a bit too much respect for the innate creature. Don't be too careless. Since the assessment task is of the heavenly grade, it proves that this innate creature is not simple. A young man with light blue hair and blue eyes said, "How can the level division of the assessment task be wrong? Weni Tong, you are too cautious." The tall and handsome young man who spoke first couldn't help but speak. According to intelligence analysis, Xiangqun Sudong is just an innate creature of 5-colored stone with average blood. Forget us. Although he has innate blood, he has no awakened blood talent. He can only be regarded as a half-baked one. Weni Tong, you are the peerless innate creature genius of our 9 Realms Palace. You have a solid foundation, and are a god king level blue whale innate creature. You broke through the heavenly grade at the age of 6. Now you have mastered 9 powers. Your innate secret method of controlling water combined with the shocking wave sutra is even closer to the realm grade. Xiangqun Sudong, what can I compare with you? Brother Zhao is right. A woman in green standing next to Wei Tong also nodded in agreement. Brother Wei, it is obvious that the 16th master let us off the hook for this assessment task. It may also be that Xiangqun Sudong has offended our 9 realms whole badly. That's why we are here to intimidate him. Not only does Xiangqun Sudong need to be intimidated, but the Xiangqun clan also needs to be punished. I heard that junior brother Yu's clan tribe is nearby. Junior brother Yao is very capable. I received a gift from him once, and it was very good. Status in the 9 realms hall is divided according to strength. The weak retreat and the strong take over, and the one with the highest strength is the senior brother. Several people talked and laughed happily. They didn't take this assessment task to heart at all. Only the blue-haired young man Wei Tong had blue eyes as calm as water. He is one of the most talented young people in the Nine Realms Hall. He has been practicing with the God King level masters in the hall since he was a child. In the future, he will worship under the command of master at the level of God Emperor and Immortal Emperor. His future is bright. As long as his performance is good enough, the Nine Realms Hall is willing to spend a lot of money to let him break through the shackles of his bloodline. This also makes Wei Tong's status very special. Many disciples of the Nine Realms Hall flatter him openly or secretly and take him as their leader. Of course, the Nine Realms Hall is naturally very partial to geniuses, like him in many aspects, but the higher you stand, the more you understand. Wei Tong knows better than anyone that the Nine Realms Hall will never reduce the degree of their training just because they are geniuses. Instead, they will pay more attention to them. Some assessment tasks that seem simpler are often more dangerous. These idiots, their assessment task goal is to fight with Xiangquan Sudang. What is fighting? It's just a battle. They are not required to kill the target. And my assessment task is to kill Xiangquan Sudang. If I can't kill him, but I can survive, the assessment task will fail, but I can go back alive. This is the reminder given to me by my master. The same goal, but the task content makes different requirements according to their strength, which shows that there is another mystery in this assessment task. Thinking of his master, Wei Tong's eyes showed admiration. His master is the top god king of the Nine Realms Palace. In the ancient country of the Nine Realms, the clans rule small tribes, the clan marquis rules many clans, and above the clan marquis is the lord of a mountain and river. The real strong man who rules a region in the ancient country of the Nine Realms. There are a total of 16,000 mountain and river lords in the entire world of the Nine Realms. His master is one of the best among these 16,000 mountain and river lords. Master has taught me since I was young and knows my strength best. Wei Tong thought to himself, but this time, when he heard about my assessment task, he reminded me to be cautious. The Nine Realms Palace monitors the world and knows much more information than we think. Master's position certainly knows more that I don't know. Wei Tong shook his head gently. Master's reminder fully illustrates the danger of this assessment task. Either the Xiangquan clan has some hidden strongman, or Xiangquan Sudang himself is extremely extraordinary. I have checked all the information about the Xiangquan clan clearly. Several times, they were almost wiped out by monsters, and several times they were almost annexed by other clans. The only strongman who has risen in recent years is Xiangquan Sudang. There is no trace of a hidden strongman, and Xiangquan Sudang, according to his performance in the Zenmu clan, is not to be feared. Then where is the danger? This book has been updated recently in update. Unless Xiangquan Sudang is hiding his strength. An ordinary 5-colored stone innate creature has risen very quickly. Is he born with natural talent, or is he reincarnated from the void? Wei Tong guessed in his heart. There are too many innate creatures reincarnated from the void in the void. Although the void reincarnation talisman is hard to come by, the threshold for use is low after all, and it is for innate creatures. Wei Tong has 2 brothers who have been reincarnated from the void. Perhaps, this Xiangquan Sudang is also a strong man who has been reincarnated from the void? In any case, this Sudang's strength should not be underestimated. A fairy level person has attracted the attention of the Nine Realms Hall, which in itself is very telling. Look ahead, that's Xiangquan City. The woman in green clothes spoke. The 4 people on the flying boat all looked over. The city in the distance stood on the vast land, with buildings rising one after another, which was quite spectacular. The 4 people didn't care at all. They flew over directly. But before they flew to Xiangquan City, a towering palace fell directly from their heads. The mighty power suddenly burst out, smashing straight towards the flying boat without mercy. This made the 4 people angry. Wei Tong narrowed his eyes slightly. Sure enough, he was prepared. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 345, Nine Realms Palace Assessment Mission. Boom. The towering palace fell directly from above. Their flying boat could not withstand it at all. It was smashed and shattered by the palace, and turned into countless pieces scattered in the air. However, the 4 figures on the flying boat were suspended in the air, controlling the various colors of light around them, and floating far away. Although the palace fell down quickly, they were gods and immortals after all, and their body movements were extraordinary. Naturally, they would not be hit easily. The 4 heavenly geniuses from the 9 realms palace looked at the towering palace in front of them, and their expressions changed. They were all favored by heaven. How arrogant, but they were attacked by someone, and the flying boat they were riding was smashed directly. This palace has extraordinary magic weapons. I don't even have such a good palace magic weapon. How can the palace give us good palace magic weapons if we are not at the god king level? The blue-clothed female fairy was pale. The top palace type and portable cave type magic weapons are quite valuable. For example, the Saint Zemo of Jiuhua Mountain, although his strength is not as good as those in front of him. But because he was a disciple of the Holy Spirit Zuzu, even if he was not a direct disciple, his status was higher than Thus. Even so, he spent a huge price to buy a portable cave. Looking at the towering palace, several people seemed a little surprised. At this time, a light flashed at the door of the towering palace, and a figure walked out directly. Wei Tong and the other 4 looked carefully. They saw that figure standing in front of the towering palace, wearing a dark red robe. He was not tall, especially compared with the towering palace behind him. He looked even smaller. But that figure stood there, and no one knew why. That figure stood there alone. It was as if he was a towering giant, looking down at them from a high place. As soon as the figure took a step, a golden lotus suddenly bloomed under his feet. He stepped forward in the void, and every time he took a step, a golden lotus bloomed under his feet. Step by step, it was like a beautiful painting unfolding between heaven and earth. If you stimulate the power of this divine decaying Buddha seal, even if you only stimulate one layer, this layer of power is enough to almost rival the realm level power. In the past month, Sudong, in addition to nurturing Tuoshi's physical body, has mainly been integrating the divine decaying Buddha seal, the divine emperor level power mark. Every day, when he integrates the mark, especially during the integration process, he also feels the many Buddhist insights left by the powerful Buddha. It's like listening to a sermon by a high monk. After a long time, he will naturally feel that his whole spirit is extremely peaceful and in harmony with the great way of heaven and earth. In addition, Sudong himself has countless merits, and the figure of the meritorious Buddha statue was born in his sea of consciousness. Of course, everything will come naturally. They complement each other, and the integration of the divine decaying Buddha seal is naturally very fast. At the same time, since he began to integrate this divine emperor seal, Sudong's Taoism, the realm of the soul and many other aspects have made rapid progress, especially in the soul, which has been continuously improved. As for the soul, since Sudong's life core is data will consciousness, he has done very little research on the soul. However, as his soul becomes stronger, Sudong can even use the power of his soul to condense into silk. With a strong soul, his understanding of the Tao has also increased exponentially. Although it is not as good as the legendary enlightenment, it can be regarded as a clear mind. A clear mind is like Meng Si Nyang, who did not practice for the first 20 years. Once she practiced, her understanding of the heavenly Dao was completely skyrocketing, and her strength level was incredible. Although the strength levels are different and cannot be compared, Sudong's Taoism improvement speed is still incredible. Of course, in a month, Sudong integrated the Shengxiu Buddha seal, comprehended the Dharma to improve his soul and Taoism, and activated many treasures of heaven and earth, and the gems merged with his body, which also made Sudong's strength reach an incredible level. However, due to time reasons, the efficiency of the core data absorbing spiritual energy is constant, and Sudong's realm is still only at the 8th level of the immortal level. 2 9-layer heavenly gods, 2 9-layer heavenly immortals. Sudong said. Wei Tong and the other 4 were also observing the figure in front of them. His face was handsome. There was a 5-colored crystal between his eyebrows, which exuded a strong innate aura. The aura was very ordinary, but a special temperament from the soul made them a little frightened. They had seen this face before. Are you Xiangquan Sudong? A fairy? The fairy makes me feel oppressed. The young Zhao family god and the other two female gods, who had been relaxed and not taking it seriously, were a little flustered. The Nine Realms Palace paid a high reward for me to fight with you. Killing one of you is a big reward, and killing 4 of you is a sky-high price. Su Dong said with a smile on his face. A few days ago, his Xiangquan clan unexpectedly received a message from the Nine Realms ancient country, asking him to take action and hone the disciples of the Nine Realms Palace. Not only did they promise a lot of rewards, but they also indicated that this was the test for the Xiangquan clan to be promoted from an ordinary clan to a clan marquis. Clan Marquis, the leader of a faction within the Mountain and River Lord of the Nine Realms ancient country, has many clans under his command. To obtain the title of Clan Marquis, the first condition is to have a powerful person at the realm level in the clan, and secondly, to pass the assessment of the Nine Realms ancient country. Usually, this assessment is also assigned by the Mountain and River Lord, but this time, it is directly linked to the Nine Realms Palace. The territory where your Xiangquan clan is located is within the territory of the Fenglai Mountain Lord. This Fenglai Mountain Lord is a real top-level god king and has several god kings serving him. Obviously, this kind of strong man has 1,000 connections with the Nine Realms Palace. Feng Lao Rung's his figure condensed into a phantom, sitting in a study in the towering palace practicing calligraphy and communicating with Su Dong telepathically. The major forces within the entire ancient country are all connected. This is inevitable. As for Su Dong's fight with these proud sons of heaven, she was too lazy to watch. In her words, it was a crushing defeat, and there was no need to watch at all. We, the Nine Realms Palace, invited him? High remuneration? Wei Tongdu narrowed his eyes slightly. The faces of the other 3 people changed drastically. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. They all guessed wrong. It was obvious that this was a truly harsh test designed by the Nine Realms Palace. If you fail, you will die. Okay, stop staring at each other. Go ahead. Since this is to hone you, of course I have to give you a chance. If I make a move, you won't have a chance. Su Dong said with a smile. Xiangquan Su Dong. Wei Tong's eyes emitted a faint blue light, and his whole body burst into a blue light. A blue ocean appeared faintly behind him. My mission is to kill you. For my mission, you go to hell. Boom. Wei Tong stretched out his hand fiercely, and a 3-pronged spear emitting golden light suddenly appeared in his palm. There were faint mysterious runes on the spear, and powerful power was flowing in it. This spear, in terms of magic weapon level, is not inferior to the most important magic weapon of the 7th void god of the Yan family, the sky-piercing spear. After all, it is a top-grade magic weapon used by the gods. The spear was swung out. Instantly, endless golden spear shadows were formed, and each of them was covered with blue ripple-like power that spread forward and bombarded Su Dong. Su Dong just stood there and watched. When the overwhelming blue power of the spear shadows enveloped him, he stretched out his finger and pointed. God-destroying. Suddenly, an illusory golden lotus flew out of thin air. When the golden lotus flew out, all the spear shadows in the sky dissipated, revealing the golden spear. At the same time, the spear bombarded the golden lotus, and the golden spear was directly blown away. Wei Tong's eyes widened in astonishment. The other 3 gods and immortals were also stunned. What kind of power is that? Just a casual finger directly shattered Wei Tong's spear containing the innate secret method? Is this immortal level? Exclamation mark. Chapter 346 The Terrible Su Dong. In fact, they didn't realize how terrifying the power of the golden lotus shot by Su Dong was. But the effect was too amazing. How is it possible? My Zhenhe spear. Wei Tong couldn't believe it. A golden lotus smashed my Zhenhe spear away and broke my endless waves. Join hands. He is too strong. Join hands. I will entangle him with the Star Silk technique, and you kill him. The female fairy in green clothes shouted, and almost instantly, silver divine power threads were wrapped around her body. I will use soul attack to attack him. Another female fairy gritted her teeth, and her eyes instantly turned into a flashing green light like an emerald gem. She is good at illusion, and she casts a soul attack at the level of a fairy. But this soul attack instantly penetrated Su Dong's body defense. Sudong's special 5-colored stone body constitution weakened a small part of the power and then bombarded the sea of consciousness in Sudong's mind. In the calm sea of consciousness, there was a small Sudong sitting cross-legged with his eyes closed. He was barefoot and had Buddha light wrapped around his body. There were also special Buddhist secret patterns on his chest. Boom. The soul attack directly attacked the figure. The attack was on Sudong's sea of consciousness. Suppress. The small Sudong opened his eyes and whispered, like thunder from the ground. The vast soul power floated up, directly submerging and shattering the soul attack. This was the Buddha of merit condensed into a Buddha shadow figure. The soul surged. In the past Sudong could only bear it, but now he could easily fight back. Puff. His soul power is too strong. Be careful. The female fairy in the corner of the sky spat out a mouthful of blood from the corner of her mouth. Her face was as pale as paper, and she hurriedly sent a message to the 3 companions around her. You are also good at soul? The faces of the 3 people changed suddenly. In fact, in terms of strength, each of them is a top-level god and fairy, and is more than 1 level stronger than the demon tiger demon king, the leader of the 12 great demons in the refining demon lake. Unfortunately, they are facing Sudong. In the sky, hundreds of feet of space were filled with various divine lights. At the level of a god, it was easy to destroy surrounding buildings and lives with a full strength burst, so Sudong chose to wait 100 miles outside Xiangquan City to avoid affecting the people of Xiangquan City. Kill him. Kill this Sudong. The woman in green clothes usually looked weak, but at this moment she was the most murderous. A fairy sword appeared in front of her, and silver starlight threads were wrapped around her face. The starlight threads were floating around for hundreds of feet, and countless silver threads rushed towards Sudong like the sharpest sword blades. Starlight sword technique. The woman performed Taoism. Are you good at swordsmanship? Sudong smiled. His fingertips condensed slightly, condensing into a golden lotus, and his fingers flicked. A golden lotus directly penetrated the sky. Suddenly, the starlight sword blades in the sky disappeared without a trace. Only the golden lotus bloomed dazzlingly and fell on the woman's fairy sword. Just like the spear that Wei Tong had used before, the immortal sword was easily crushed by the golden lotus. The woman's body was shaken, and a cloud of blood mist burst out from her arm that was pinching the magic formula. One trick can conquer the world, and a golden lotus can suppress all methods. This is the terrible power of the divine decayed Buddha seal. After being stimulated by the purple cube, one force can defeat 10 skills. No matter how powerful your Taoism is, it can be directly crushed and suppressed. The golden lotus bloomed in the air, floating, swaying. Wei Tong and the other 4 were stunned. They were all favored by heaven in the past, but now they were easily crushed by a divine innate creature. A strong soul and strong attack do not mean strong defense. I'm best at frontal combat. You are just strong because of the golden lotus. The young man surnamed Zhao released his god realm, and the black cold air spread out in 100 feet around. The entire 100 feet of heaven and earth was suddenly filled with a gloomy cold current. Boom. A pitch black long sword wrapped in a terrifying cold air, like a magic sword falling from the sky, mercilessly slashed at Sudong. Use a sword? Sudong chuckled and waved his hand this time. A long sword appeared in his hand. The long sword light turned into countless hazy sword lights. The golden and dazzling sword light was extremely dazzling, containing endless murderous intent. Sudong held the long sword and looked at the young man surnamed Zhao who was shooting out of the black cold air. The latter was slashing at him with a sword and roaring. Swish. A dazzling sword light that made people dare not look directly at it suddenly cut through the hundreds of meters of cold air. The sword light was extremely condensed. At the same time, the sword light also gathered 7 powerful shock waves amplified by the purple cube. The sword light was dazzling, just like a crescent moon falling into the world. Sword technique. 10 directions are exterminated. Swish. The knife light instantly split the black air and cold current, and then, as if cutting through cloth, it chopped the murderous young man surnamed Zhao directly from the head, diagonally, along the head, and chopped from the waist. Puff. The divine body of the young man surnamed Zhao was directly split in half. The young man surnamed Zhao couldn't even hold the knife in his hand. His eyes were full of pain and fear. He thought of his pride and confidence when he came here, thinking that it was just an assessment task, but he forgot the strictness of the 9 Realms Hall in cultivating geniuses. The means of tempering are even more dangerous. The 9 Realms Hall is not short of geniuses, and countless people have died in the tempering. He was careless when he came. Die. Sudan casually tore the divine body and soul of the young man surnamed Zhao with a knife. One knife. Full. Brother Zhao. The green-clothed female fairy looked pale and retreated involuntarily. And Wei Tong, the strongest among them, broke out. I'm a heavenly level, you are a fairy level, and I'm a god king level innate creature. How could I lose to you? Wei Tong, who was unwilling to admit defeat, went berserk. Shocking Wei's technique. Boom boom boom. This book has been recently updated on #at. Update. The scene in the sky suddenly distorted. A series of earth-shaking waves that were enough to overturn the earth surged and surged. Puff. An extremely terrifying huge fish-shaped divine body rushed over, and the sky began to shake at this moment. This is the space of the 9 realms. God King level bloodline. Blue whale. Crushing over powerfully. Power of the earth. Sudong's eyes were like lightning. The light of the colorful stone between his eyebrows flashed. Boom. The speed of the huge blue whale that rushed over suddenly slowed down. Brother Wei, I'm here to help you. The female fairy in green clothes used silver starlight and urged the sword technique. My assessment task is to fight with this Xiangquan Sudong. There is no rule that says I can't escape. On the other side, the female celestial being who cast the illusion magic turned into a cloud, trying to leave this world. After the fight, it is obvious that being able to escape is also considered a successful assessment. But before she could escape, the 5-color light enveloped the sky, and the terrible gravity suddenly swept up from under them. No. The female celestial being was terrified. She was best at soul attack, and the rest of her skills were only average. She couldn't even resist this gravity. Puff. A knife light passed by and directly pierced the eyebrows of the beautiful female celestial being. Senior Sister Mei, the green-clothed female celestial being, was also pulled down by the power of the earth. Looking back, she saw that Senior Sister Mei was dead, and a knife light also arrived. I'm going to die too. This Xiangquan Sudong is too terrible. We shouldn't be careless about the heaven-level assessment task of the 9 Realms Palace. If they were more careful and prepared, they might not have died like this. Before dying, she looked at Wei Tong, only to see that Wei Tong's entire divine body had turned into a blue whale, with 2 fleshy wings extending from the whale's back. A blue river domain was floating around it. Under the coverage of Sudong's earth power, it could only produce gravity on the river, and could not affect Wei Tong in the river. Wow. Wei Tong was completely conquered at this moment. I can't beat him. I can't beat him. Without any hesitation, he transformed into his original body and used his innate secret method to escape. The blue-clothed female fairy looked at the former's back in fascination. Then she looked back at Sudong. Her eyes became full of regret. She wanted to speak, but a knife light pierced her brow directly. Some pirated versions have typos. Danki did not correct them. Please go to Kidian to watch the genuine version. Chapter 347 Bloodlord. Wow. Sudong waved his hand. He collected many relics in the sky, including a 3-pronged spear, a fairy sword and a long knife, all of which were extraordinary. There were also many armor and magic weapons. It's a pity that the strongest one escaped. But after killing their 3 disciples, the clan lord assessment of the 9 realms ancient country has been passed. Sudong had no mercy on these 9 realms whole disciples. They were originally here to kill him, so how could he show mercy? After cleaning up the battlefield, Sudong went straight back to the Void Temple. As Feng Lao Rongzi said, with his current strength, he could crush a few heavenly level people, even if they were geniuses of the 9 realms hall. And Wei Tong, who turned into a huge blue whale and escaped, fled all the way thousands of miles away. When he looked back and saw that Sudong did not chase him, he felt a little relieved. His huge body changed and turned into a handsome young man again. Feeling that he had consumed too much divine power and was a little weak, Wei Tong flipped his palm and a gravel cave appeared. His body went directly into the gravel cave. The gravel cave is very large, much larger than the gravel cave of the Saint Zmo of Jiuhua Mountain that Sudong had obtained. After returning to the cave, Wei Tong was completely relieved. Terrible, really terrible. Wei Tong's face was pale. That Xiangquan Sudan. Let us attack first, and then he counterattacks. Whether it is defense or Taoism, he is far better than me. The 5-color gravity field he used at the end should be a natural secret method. Wei Tong thought of the 5-color light. The gravity was terrifying, and even the heavenly level couldn't stand it. But he smiled. Fortunately, it should be my natural talent to control water, and my own transformation into Kun just offset his gravity. His talent is really terrible. He is just a 5-color stone innate creature. So terrible talent? Wei Tong walked into the cave. There were a lot of servants in the cave, a lot of fine wine and food, and they all bowed to him when they saw him. But Wei Tong's face was terribly pale. I used my innate secret method, which consumed too much energy. Fortunately, Sudong did not use his palace-like magic weapon to chase after me. Perhaps, it was the 9 Realms Palace that restricted him? That's right, he always let us take action first, when the battle started. Recover here first, and then go back after you recover. Wei Tong sat in the cave practice room, and his face looked better as the spiritual energy of heaven and earth filled up. But when he thought of the terrifying immortal level Sudan, a trace of palpitation would appear on his face from time to time. He didn't understand how Sudan practiced and how he was so strong. Immortal level, so strong that it was beyond common sense and incredible. In the 9 Realms Palace of Xiangquan City, the hunchbacked and sinister man who was the special envoy of the 9 Realms Palace was enjoying himself with a beautiful and charming maid. Suddenly, a blood-colored figure appeared out of thin air in the luxurious hall of the 9 Realms Branch Palace. But the entire small 9 Realms Palace was filled with dazzling bloodlight, and endless bloodlight enveloped everything in the palace. The sinister and hunchback man who was enjoying the beautiful maid service immediately stood up excitedly. He even knelt on the ground excitedly, and looked at the blood-colored phantom in front of him with great respect and admiration in his sinister eyes, and said, "Let's pay homage to the Blood Lord." His voice was trembling, and his prostrate body couldn't help but tremble. The blood-colored phantom in front of him was of respected status. Not to mention him, even the big forces behind him had to be respectful. He couldn't imagine that such a person would appear in the branch hall of the 9 Realms Palace, where he was stationed. In the luxurious hall, the blood-colored figure sat high in the air, with a huge throne behind him. Looking at the sinister man below bowing, his face was ugly and cold, and he was in a bad mood. Among the previous batch of disciples who failed the assessment, the green-clothed woman was the one he cultivated with all his heart. How could he be in a good mood when his disciples died in the assessment? Why hadn't geniuses like Sudong been recruited by their 9 Realms Palace before? This is the dereliction of duty of the 9 Realms Branch Hall. Neglecting one's duty is simply a heinous crime. The blood-colored figure spoke in a cold voice. Tongson below looked up in fear and wanted to explain. How could he neglect his duty? Was he addicted to enjoyment? Too many envoys stationed in the 9 Realms Hall were like this, but why did they target him? Whoosh! A bloodlight emerged from the void. The hunched Tongson had no time to explain. The bloodlight flashed and fell on his body. It easily destroyed his body. Tongson's eyes were filled with fear. Until his death, he didn't know why he died. This scene was seen by the beautiful maid, who was panicked but not sad. Wow. The blood-colored figure disappeared. The hall returned to calm, leaving only the beautiful maid with a panicked face. Killing an envoy of the 9 Realms Branch Hall was just a trivial matter for such a big shot to vent his anger. When one died, a new envoy stationed in the branch hall would immediately take office. But this 9 Realms Branch Hall actually missed a genius like Sudan, so it should be punished. In the real core area of the 9 Realms Great World, there is a vast and endless group of sacred palaces. The original figure of Bloodlord stood in one of the great temples, and there were 2 terrifying beings beside him. Lion King Mountain Lord, Camel Hump River Lord. What do you think of that Xiangquan Sudan? Bloodlord was wearing a blood-colored robe, with a slender and thin body, and a faint blood-colored airflow on his face. This book was recently updated in #@. Update. In front of him were 2 god kings, who owned a piece of mountains and rivers in the 9 Realms Great World. Of course, in the 9 Realms Hall, their status was far inferior to that of Bloodlord in front of him. Bloodlord was a peak strong man who could run for the ruler of the 9 Realms ancient country. How could they compare? In fact, among the 4 people of Weitong had the highest status on the surface, but in fact, the green-clothed female fairy was secretly cared for and cultivated by Bloodlord. It was considered that he had spent some careful thoughts, but it was a pity that she was already dead. It's incredible. A divine level 5 colored stoneanate creature with such powerful power. The 2 divine kings, the Lord of Camel Hump River and the Lord of Lion King Mountain, looked at each other. That Xiangquan Sudong must be a powerful person who was reincarnated from the void. And before reincarnation, he had mastered many treasures and resources, and also mastered a terrible way to use power. If it's not so, it's hard to explain that he is a congenital creature born from a small clan, and he is so powerful at the divine level. For someone who used the void reincarnation talisman, it's understandable that he is stronger before the realm level. The void reincarnation talisman has long been no secret in the void, and there are countless powerful people who have risen with it. If Xiangquan Sudong is reincarnated from the void, we must first find out which country he is from. If he is a hostile country, of course, we should eliminate him as soon as possible. The Lord of Lion King Mountain suggested. I have deduced that Sudong is not from a hostile country, and did you see the method he used? It has some Buddhist charm. His own merits are not small. Such a person with merits and luck appears in my ancient country of the 9 realms, which can be regarded as increasing the luck of my ancient country. Zuzan spoke, and it was considered to be a basic policy for dealing with Sudong. Sudong is indeed good at killing monsters. It is speculated that the 12 heavenly monsters in the refining monster lake died in his hands. The Lord of the Camel Hump River also said they paid attention to Sudong, so they naturally investigated everything that happened in the tens of thousands of miles around. Recruit Xiangquan Sudong. He was reborn in the void and reborn as a world level 5 colored stoneanate creature. It's unlucky. If he can be used by us, we will cultivate him well. Zuzan said. If he doesn't want to, don't make it difficult. After speaking, he turned and left. At his level, he only occasionally paid attention to these little guys. He was more concerned about how to break through the last step, become the Holy Spirit Void Ancestor, achieve immortality, and live forever between heaven and earth. A little guy of the immortal level who performed exceptionally well. No matter how good he is still too weak. Yes. The 2 lords of mountains and rivers bowed and agreed. After leaving the temple, Zuzan stretched out his hand, and there was a triangular peculiar metal ring between his fingers. He has made rapid progress, and has many treasures and resources. He must have been the Lord of the Void Palace, before he was reincarnated. He must have made many preparations. Unfortunately, after reincarnating as a world level innate creature, he is destined not to be able to enter the Void Divine Court. Zuzan shook his head. He was also the Lord of the Void Palace. With such extraordinary strength, he was not recruited by the Void Divine Court, let alone Sudong. Chapter 348 is coming. Night. Su Garden. Sudong was sitting cross-legged on the bed practicing. The 5-color spiritual energy of heaven and earth kept pouring towards him, pouring into his body, and entering the 5-color stone origin, and also into his Dantian. After a long time, Sudong stopped when he felt that his Dantian was swelling. At this rate, in another 3 months, my core data realm should be able to reach the heaven level. Sudong said secretly. The second star in the star map in his core data space was getting brighter and brighter. Once it was fully lit, it would be the time for him to break through to the heaven level. When I reach the heaven level, my 5-color stone body will also be one step closer. Sudong looked inside his 5-color stone body. After absorbing various top heaven and earth gems, Sudong's 5-color stone body refining method, the Xianshanju, has also been practiced to the 2nd level, reaching the level of the void body protection. This body refining method, the only requirement is that it requires a large amount of heaven and earth gems and time. Just smash it hard. When the Xianshanju reached the 2nd level, the power mastered by Sudong surged 3 times again, reaching 13 times the power. Just talking about activating the void body protection and body training method, Sudong's 5-colored stone body strength has reached an incredible level. It is almost comparable to the ordinary human realm level. This is the advantage of the innate life inheritance method once it is successfully cultivated. In addition to the Cheyenne Buju, Sudang's Yin-Yang 5-colored light Deo method also completely comprehended the void escape method 10 days ago and mastered a power again. Of course, the more you practice the method, the more difficult it is. Fortunately, my soul strength has been greatly enhanced by fusing the Shenxiu Buddha seal, and the speed of practicing the Taoism is much faster. Sudang thought, but fusing the Shenxiu Buddha seal is only a temporary enhancement of the soul. If you want to strengthen the soul again, you still need some special methods and treasures of heaven and earth. The soul is a point that is extremely valued in the void. If the soul is strong, the comprehension and aptitude will be greatly improved. The stronger the soul, the higher the efficiency of cultivation. Of course, as the realm is improved, the soul will also undergo qualitative changes every time. Just like the soul strength of the immortal level, can it be compared with the gods and immortals? Similarly, compared with the gods and immortals of the world, the gods and immortals of the world are completely different. The higher the soul strength is, the more difficult it is to improve. Fortunately, I also got a Buddha heart fruit from the temple relics this time. The Buddha heart fruit can nourish the soul and improve the quality of the soul. Why is Sudang's soul power so strong? In addition to integrating the divine decay Buddha seal, he also swallowed a large number of heaven and earth treasures. Among them, this Buddha heart fruit only matures once every 30,000 years. Even the powerful Buddha in the void only has one in his hand. Fortunately, the seeds of the Buddha heart fruit are inside the fruit. There are 16 seeds in one fruit. Sudang planted all these seeds in the 1-acre field of heaven and earth. His mind was immersed in the Dantian. The mobile phone interface was opened, and he gently clicked on the 1-acre field of heaven and earth. At this moment, all 9 field grids of this 1 acre of field were opened, and purple gold small trees were planted. That was the Buddha heart fruit tree. To open these 9 fields, Sudang spent a lot of heaven and earth crystals and even a lot of essence crystals. This kind of application is not something that even the rich can afford. He opened up 9 plots of land and upgraded the land from ordinary loess to advanced spiritual gold soil. Sudang's huge wealth was almost unbearable. As for the wealth obtained by exchanging the treasures of heaven and earth, a large amount of it was used to exchange gem combinations, to supply the bodies of the 5-colored stone and 8 creatures, to practice the heaven repairing technique. With one in and one out, Sudang's wealth can be said to be not much left, but the effect is also extremely obvious. Even the heaven level geniuses cultivated by the 9 realms palace with a lot of resources were crushed by him. It can be seen that the resources cultivated by the 9 realms palace are not as good as those exchanged by Sudang himself. Yes, you have to fight for all resources. Relying on the sect and the power is not as good as relying on yourself. Of course, not everyone has a magical mobile phone in their Dantian to supply their own growth. In the early stage of 1 acre of land in the world, the Buddha heart fruit cannot be planted. It can only be planted and cultivated after upgrading to spiritual gold soil. Each of the 9 grids can only plant 1 Buddha heart fruit, which can shorten the cultivation time by half. It also takes 15,000 years to mature one. I use the crystal of heaven and earth to ripen it and try to shorten the time. It cost a lot of wealth. Sudang finally shortened the maturity period of the Buddha heart fruit to 60 years. This is the limit, because the crystal of heaven and earth is used instead of the crystal of heaven and earth. The treasures of heaven and earth in the real void are too precious. Like this Buddha heart fruit, it is a top treasure that will even be auctioned in the void. It has great appeal even to the god emperor level strongman. Sudang, a small immortal level, 8-1, how extravagant. Of course. This is the opportunity. If it weren't for the temple relics, even if Sudang had a Dantian mobile phone, he couldn't play like this. Unfortunately, the upgraded Cheyenne Cheyenne takes up too much space. The size of the 7 stars application really surprised me. After the mobile phone in the Dantian of the 5-colored stone body downloaded Cheyenne Cheyenne, it did not download other applications. Why? First of all, Sudang's energy and wealth were invested in improving his strength. Applications are not the more the better. The more practical and suitable they are for oneself, the better. Secondly, Cheyenne Cheyenne takes up too much space, especially after several upgrades. It is even more ridiculous. There is no extra space to download other things. The way of heaven is fair, and it must be restricting Sudang's growth in the dark. The road to strength is not so easy. Sudang is very clear about his current strength. Although his realm is the peak of the 9th heaven of the immortal level of the 5-colored stone innate creature body has piled up the Xianshan due to the 2nd level, which is absolutely rare in the history of the 5-colored stone life. In terms of physical strength, it can even reach the realm level. Of course, the weakness is that only the physical strength has been achieved, and the strength and speed are still far behind. But it is also far beyond the heaven level. In terms of power, there were originally 9 powers. The power of the poison dragon mark was replaced by the power of the godly decayed Buddha mark. Only 1 power can be fused, the power of the meritorious Buddha realm, and 3 powers of the 2nd level of the heaven repairing technique. The power of the Taoist void escape. It can be said that Sudang now has a full 14 powers. Among them, the power of the godly decayed Buddha mark is ridiculously strong, and it is stimulated through the purple cube. It is comparable to the power of the realm. After all, it is the power of the God Emperor mark. Even if it is only stimulated by 10% of the power, it is far beyond the heaven level. Therefore, Sudang's current strength can be said to be close to the realm level, but there are many kinds of realm levels. Human realm level, the weak divine body is just the same level as Sudang, but if it is like the realm monster withered wood, the body is an ancient tree. The divine body is so strong that, even if Sudang stands there and lets him kill Sudang, he can't kill him. This is the difference. It is precisely because my many achievements have shown my realm level strength that I'm qualified to be valued by the 9 realms ancient country, and the Xiangquan clan is qualified to become a clan marquis within the surrounding 200,000 miles. Sudang secretly said that power is proportional to strength, and the 9 realms ancient country monitors the entire 9 realms world. This book has been updated recently in update. It is normal for him to attract the attention of the 9 realms ancient country. This is why there was that 9 realms whole assessment. Now the 9 realms ancient country should have guessed that I'm an innate creature reincarnated from the void, but an innate creature reincarnated from the void is also an innate creature, and they should come to recruit me. Sudang opened his eyes. But a realm level innate creature is not enough to shock the top leaders of the 9 realms ancient country. Perhaps in the Xiangquan clan, he is already an extremely powerful person, but in the eyes of the powerful people at the level of god kings such as the Lord of Mountains and Rivers, he is still just a little guy. I don't know when my Tush body will be able to be successfully conceived. A Buddha level flesh and blood body, with 2 clones, plus my life core is the data core will consciousness. My ability to save my life will be greatly improved. Sudang looked forward to it. In this vast void, rising up to seek immortality, only by constantly strengthening oneself can one go further. The sky gradually brightened. Sudang, who was sitting cross-legged in the room, suddenly opened his eyes. Feng Lao Rongzi, who was quietly practicing calligraphy in the portable cave, also frowned and sensed carefully. Here it comes. Sudang muttered to himself. Boom. An extremely strong fluctuation of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth was like a surging wave that instantly swept across the entire Xiangquan city. Such a strong fluctuation of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth shook the entire Xiangquan city. Sudang's face remained unchanged, and he stood up. Step. Whoosh. He walked out of the room directly and appeared in the sky, and then floated on a cloud in the sky that was dyed red by the rising sun. Chapter 349, Master of Fenglai Mountain. Sudang stood on the cloud, looking forward, and the extremely turbulent fluctuations of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth came from the front. A huge momentum that suffocated ordinary creatures was like a sudden storm on the calm sea. The entire high sky of Xiangquan city was emitting terrible and strong fluctuations of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth in all directions. Waves of surging momentum, like waves, swept across the entire land of Xiangquan city and continued to surge. What's wrong? Look at the sky. The clan children of the entire Xiangquan city were shocked. Everyone ran to the street in shock, and some even jumped on the roofs and trees and looked up at the sky and were shocked. A spiritual energy vortex appeared in the air, and the spiritual energy vortex kept rolling and rotating. Such a terrible fluctuation of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Everyone was shocked. It can cause such a terrible fluctuation of spiritual energy. Compared with this fluctuation of spiritual energy of heaven and earth, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth that we attract during cultivation is simply a grain of light. What's going on? Whoosh! A stream of purple light quickly flew in the sky, and it came to Sudang's side in the blink of an eye. It was the elderly Xiangquan Zichan. Ancestor. Sudang looked at Xiangquan Zichan. Sudang, what is this? Xiangquan Zichan looked at Sudang solemnly. In the entire Xiangquan clan, the two strongest people now are Sudang and the ancestor Xiangquan Zichan. It is generally recognized that Sudang is the strongest. The strong are respected. Even in the clan, even Xiangquan Zichang, a strong man of seniority, couldn't help but bow half his head in front of Sudang. It's a powerful god king. Sudang nodded, but his face was calm. I just don't know which lord of the mountains and rivers it is. His face was calm, but he was also shocked in his heart. Such a terrible fluctuation of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, just the gathering of momentum can stir up such a terrible fluctuation of the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. It is simply unbelievable. With his core data will consciousness sensing, if the sensing is correct, the source of this terrible momentum should still be thousands of miles away. Being thousands of miles away, the mere gathering of momentum was so terrifying, which showed how powerful it was. The Lord of Mountains and Rivers has descended on my Xiangquan city? Xiangquan Zichang showed a look of joy. At this time, Xiangquan Tongjiang and Xiangquan Xiangan, two celestial beings, also flew over. Many Xiangquan clan immortal level strongmen also gathered here, including Xiangquan Lianghu. They all looked at the huge spiritual energy vortex in the sky with fear and respect. Under the shining sun, the spiritual energy vortex exuded golden guanhu, and the dazzling light was reflected in all directions. Rumble. A terrible breath descended directly from the vortex. The spiritual energy of the world around Xiangquan City was instantly swept away by the spiritual energy vortex, and completely gathered in the sky in front of Sudang, directly forming a vague huge figure, which was in the shape of a turtle. Half of the body was immersed in a vast ocean, and half of the head emerged as a human head, and the facial outline was still that of a strange young man. The surrounding world was filled with water vapor. Under the sunlight, it emits colorful light, and the sky and the earth change color. In the endless water vapor, the huge and strange young man's face looked at Sudang and others indifferently. The huge momentum spread out, and everyone below the immortal level in the entire Xiangquan city prostrated. The God King has arrived. Oh. The huge face looked at Sudang in front of him. He cast his eyes with a sense of majesty. At this moment, he nodded slightly. You are Sudang, a congenital creature of 5 colored stones, but you have close to the realm level. No wonder you attract attention. Yes, Xiangquan Sudang, I ask you, are you willing to join my 9 realms hall? There are many strong people in my 9 realms hall who are willing to accept you as a disciple and guide you. Of course, because you are a congenital creature of realm level bloodline. After the realm level, you need to go to the Big Dipper world to serve my 9 realms ancient country for 100 years. If your military exploits are excellent enough within 100 years, you will have a generous reward. The voice boomed. The huge face smiled. May I ask who the lord is? Sudang did not answer first, but bowed with his fists clasped and asked. I'm the lord of Fenglai Mountain here. Don't you know me? Xiangquan Zicheng and others were shocked when they heard it. Lord of Fenglai Mountain? The entire Xiangquan clan is just a small tribe in the territory of Lord of Fenglai Mountain. Fenglai represents the most noble and powerful lord title in the millions of miles of heaven and earth. Since the day when Xiangquan clan was established, no one thought that this mountain lord would come one day, but they didn't expect to see him today. Xiangquan Zicheng and others hurriedly saluted respectfully. Greetings to Lord of Fenglai Mountain. Sudang also saluted. The Lord of Fenglai Mountain in front of him is a God King level strongman who has lived for a long time. God King also said foundation. Lord of Fenglai Mountain has the blood of innate creatures, extraordinary foundation, and has reached the realm of God King. His strength is so strong that he ranks among the top 16,000 mountain and river lords in the many worlds of the entire 9 realms ancient country. Such a strong man is simply not comparable to him now. Forget it, what I said before. Are you willing? Lord of Fenglai Mountain said straightforwardly. Sudang also shook his head straightforwardly. The mountain master means well, but my foundation is too shallow, and I'm not suitable for further study in the Nine Realms Palace. Please forgive me. He refused directly. Haha, another one who is unwilling to fight with the King Feng ancient country. What's the point of fighting? The resources of heaven and earth are limited. How can you get your turn if you don't fight or fight? Fenglai Mountain Master sighed. The Nine Realms ancient country also has rules for cultivating innate creatures with this kind of realm level bloodline. After the realm level, you must go to the Beidou Heaven and Earth battlefield to fight with the King Feng ancient country. Only by coming back alive after 100 years can you prove that you are qualified to continue to cultivate. But many innate creatures are unwilling to do so. There are God King level or even God Emperor level strongmen fighting on the battlefield. It is very dangerous, and you can't say when you will die. This book has been updated recently in Update. If it is a fight with monsters, I'm willing to do it. The fight between humans, the friction between these ancient countries. Sudong shook his head. It lasted for 100 years, which was extremely dangerous, and it was completely a fight between humans, just to gain benefits for the upper class of the Nine Realms ancient country. Sudong directly refused. If you don't want to, I won't force you. The Lord of Fenglai Mountain was very happy. He had been told by the Blood Lord when he came here. The innate creature in front of him had merits and there was no need to force it. But you have both realm level strength and have passed the assessment. Your Xiangquan clan can become the clan Marquis in my territory. Remember, the 220,000 li territory belongs to your clan, and you can collect 1 million heaven and earth crystals every 10 years. Little guy, work hard, and you will eventually have a chance to break through the shackles of the realm level. The Lord of Fenglai Mountain smiled. Yes. Sudong bowed and nodded. Boom. The entire huge cheek outline in the sky disappeared. Everything returned to calm. Only a golden order fell and landed in Sudong's hands. Is this the clan Marquis golden order? Sudong held the golden order. The front of the golden order was the word Fenglai, and the back was the word Xiangquan. The head of the Xiangquan clan was also the Xiangquan Marquis from then on. It is said that the Lord of Fenglai Mountain has a violent personality and is serious. How can he be so easy to talk to? He even smiled several times. Xiangquan Zicheng and others looked at each other in bewilderment. They didn't know that Zuzan had passed down the message that Sudong had great merits, and great merits also meant great fortune, so it was right to make friends with him. Of course, the Lord of Fenglai Mountain was treated specially. In fact, because of the threat of monsters, the top leaders of the Nine Realms ancient country still hoped to cultivate some strong people. As long as Sudong was not a monster or defected to the enemy country, everything else would not be a problem. Then, Xiangquan Zicheng and others looked at the golden order in Sudong's hand. Everyone was beaming with joy. Haha. From now on, our Xiangquan clan will be the clan Marquis, in charge of 220,000 miles of territory. Our Xiangquan clan has finally risen. Xiangquan Zicheng grabbed Sudong's hand, trembling with excitement. He had never thought that he would see the Xiangquan clan become the clan Marquis of this land in his lifetime. The entire Xiangquan clan was boiling. Although Sudong's face was calm, a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He understood that this endless land belonged to the ancient country of the Nine Realms after all. If the clan wanted to survive well and live longer, it had to move forward. If it wanted to be more prosperous, it had to continue to become stronger. The larger the territory it ruled, the stronger the power it controlled. Chapter 350, Heavenly Power Marquis. The Lord of Fenglai Mountain caused a great commotion from his appearance to his departure. Sudong and others fell from the clouds. The number of members of the Xiangquan clan who had arrived had reached nearly 10,000, most of whom were immortals. They crossed the streets and gathered here. The Lord of Fenglai Mountain has appeared. That is the clan's golden order. Sudong is too powerful. Our Xiangquan clan has really risen. Seeing Sudong falling from the sky, a large number of Xiangquan clan members, Xiangquan Bishan, Xiangquan Lianghu, many immortal level strongmen, their families, and the clan children who kept approaching from the surroundings, all looked up, and everyone was very excited. Even the outsiders who lived in Xiangquan City and the small tribes that depended on the Xiangquan clan were excited at this moment because they all knew that the rise of the Xiangquan clan was all due to this Xiangquan Sudong, and the surrounding 220,000 li territory had such a strong man, which meant that they had a magic needle to stabilize the sea. Sudong. Xiangquan Zichang stood beside Sudong. Full of joy, the corners of his mouth trembled. We succeeded. Succeeded. The Lord of Fenglai Mountain personally conferred the title. What an honor. From now on, Sudong, you will really be famous all over the world. When receiving the assessment task of the Nine Realms Hall, Sudong discussed the clan Marquis plan with Xiangquan Zichang and others. The only key point was that Sudong's strength reached the realm level. And now, Sudong really did it. After passing the assessment of the Nine Realms Hall, the Xiangquan clan was conferred as a clan Marquis. The entire Xiangquan clan was celebrating. This time, the Xiangquan clan rose to become the Xiangquan Marquis clan. The entire Xiangquan clan has Sudong, a strong man with realm level strength, and he is only at the immortal level now. He is powerful and has great potential. Sudong is too powerful. The immortal level has realm level strength. From now on, our Xiangquan clan will also have a strong man with realm level strength. The children of the Xiangquan clan talked about it one by one. As children of the Xiangquan clan, they are all proud of the surname Xiangquan and see the rise of the Xiangquan clan. Their future life status will also rise, and the strongest person in the clan is the backer of their entire clan. In the past, the backers were the three heavenly ancestors such as Xiangquan Zicheng, but now, the backers are obviously stronger. Inside the Xiangquan Hall, Xiangquan Zicheng, Xianggang, Tongjiang, the three heavenly ancestors, Xiangquan Zhaoxiao, Bishan, Xiangquan Lianghu and other immortal level strongmen, and Sudong all gathered here. With Sudong here, our Xiangquan clan is destined to rise. They were all in a very good mood. Sudong was an innate creature with a very long lifespan. When reaching the realm level, the lifespan is more than tens of thousands of years. Of course, because of the invasion of monsters and the life and death fight, the realm level strongmen also have to fight. In such a long time, it is also difficult for the realm level strongmen to live to the end of their lifespan. Everyone. Sudong is the strongest of our clan. Now that our Xiangquan clan has been appointed as a clan Marquis, we all rely on him. Xiangquan Zichang looked around at everyone and said, with Sudong's strength and character, he deserves to be the first Xiangquan Marquis of our Xiangquan clan. This clan Marquis gold order should be given to Sudong. Ancestor, no need. Sudong hurriedly opened his mouth to refuse. Yes, Sudong is an unparalleled strong man, and he should be the first Xiangquan Marquis. The first Xiangquan Marquis is of great importance, and it must be held by the strongest person in the clan to convince the public. Xiangquan Xianggang also said immediately. In the territory of Fenglai Mountain, there were originally 6 clan Marquesses. In history, there were at most 9 clan Marquesses. The strongest one was the Xiang clan. Unfortunately, the Xiang clan was destroyed by the monster at a huge cost. Our Xiangquan clan's new clan Marquis is the 7th clan Marquis. The first clan Marquis must be the strongest and presentable. Under the command of the Fenglai Mountain Lord, including the Xiangquan clan, there are now 7 clan Marquesses. Each clan Marquis guards a territory. The territory under the command of Fenglai Mountain Lord was once as wide as 9, but it was later occupied by monsters. After being occupied, it became the territory of monsters, just like the Xiang clan, which was once glorious, became the monster capital of monsters. Strong people gradually emerged in the human race, and monsters are also growing stronger. Sudong's strength is the best among any of my Xiangquan clan. It is difficult to convince the public if he does not become the Xiangquan Marquis. Xiangquan Lianghu also spoke. Sudong was brought up by him, and now Xiangquan Lianghu has a very high status in the Xiangquan clan. What he said was taken seriously by Xiangquan Zicheng and others. Sudong was slightly stunned. He was really not interested in the position of Xiangquan Marquis. Everyone, I'm obsessed with cultivation. How can I manage a clan? I just want to cultivate quietly. You should choose someone else for the Xiangquan Marquis. Yes, cultivation is very important. Xiangquan Zhaoxiao nodded in agreement. Sudang is only at the immortal level, and his bloodline is at the realm level. He still has great potential, and cultivation is the most important thing. Xiangqun Tongjiang also agreed. As the strongest person in the Xiangqun clan, Sudang's strength also affects the entire Xiangqun clan. But the significance of the first Xiangqun Hao is too great, and none of us can be competent. Xiangqun Zicheng said. Everyone was speechless. Sudang's cultivation is the top priority, but there is no suitable candidate for the position of Xiangqun Hao except him. I think this, Xiangqun Zicheng said again. With Sudang's current strength, Xiangqun Hao must be held by him, but he cannot be disturbed by mundane affairs. These mundane affairs will be borne by us. How about it? The first Xiangqun Hao must be held by Sudang, otherwise I'm afraid that the other clans will look down on us. Well, that's fine. In short, it can't affect Sudang's cultivation. Everyone nodded in agreement. This book has been updated recently in #@. Update. Sudang was speechless. He couldn't refuse even with the reason of cultivation, but he also understood that after all, the foundation of Xiangqun clan was still too weak, and it was quite reluctant to become a clan marquis. If the first Xiangqun marquis was not the strongest fighter, it would be difficult to convince the public. Helplessly, he could only take the clan marquis's golden order. I don't know how long I can stay in Xiangqun clan. I will spread the title of Xiangqun Marquis when Xiangqun clan really has a realm level strongman. Su said with a heart. His inner yearning was endless void, a piece of 9 realms, but it could not satisfy him after all. Although the void was dangerous, there were countless opportunities, and that was the stage he wanted. That night, the entire Xiangqun clan celebrated. Many tribes in the surrounding 220,000 miles of territory came to pay homage. However, when Xiangqun clan divided the territory, it did not annex the territory of Zhenmu clan, but gathered many small clans to the west. From then on, the clan Marquis Xiangqun clan became the overlord of the 220,000 miles of world. Zhenmu clan even sent generous gifts to pay homage. The reputation of Xiangqun Marquis Xiangqun Sudang spread throughout the entire Fenglai mountain territory. From this moment on, Xiangqun clan became the 7th Marquis clan in Fenglai mountain territory, in addition to Yu clan, Zufeng clan, Tilan clan, Dayang clan, Shanshan clan, and Muling clan. These clan marquesses also sent generous gifts. Yao Yu, the son of Yu clan, even visited him in person. This Xiangqun Marquis Sudang rose to prominence by stepping on several of my senior brothers and sisters in Jiaji Hall. In his eyes, I'm afraid that I'm not even as good as a fart. I had friction with him before, so he will not take me as a scapegoat one day when he is not satisfied. If my Yu clan can become the king among the 7 clan marquesses, I'm not afraid of Sudang. Unfortunately, to become the king, you need to kill the boundary monster. Over the years, who has killed the boundary monster in Fenglai territory? Yao Yu did not expect the clan to make any further progress. The entire Yu clan has 3 boundary level masters, but none of them has ever hunted a boundary monster. The strength of a clan is not determined by the number of masters, but by the strongest. He had better come and give the generous gift. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.